I'd like to call the Northwood Board of Selectmen meeting to order on October 23rd at 5:50. Roll call, Donald Hushin here.
Beth Boudreaux here.
Scott Breyer will not be here attending tonight. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start off with real quick citizens forum. Mr. Gatsis would like to speak real quick.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thank you, Assistant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Ted Gatsis. I live in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm running for executive council, and should I be fortunate enough to win, I'll be back to give you my phone number and my email address so that if you need something here, I'll be at your availability so that you can call me, and I return phone calls, and certainly I'll try and address whatever problems you may have. And if you have any questions of me right now, I'm here.
Thank you. I don't have any questions at this time.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here for citizens forum? Please step up, state your name.
My name is Mike Reynolds. I live off Gulf Road in Northwood. I've been in search of one of the two town boundary pins that are located on Gulf Road. I'm concerned that perhaps the boundary pin has been removed by a property owner, and there are no trespassing signs being placed on public land in violation of an RSA. I'd like the group to research, possibly find the pin or where it's supposed to be so that the trespassing sign issue can be addressed. Okay. Without knowing exactly where the town line is, the signs become blurred.
Have you contacted the building inspector?
I have not.
I would assume that would be the first place to start. He should know where the boundary lines are? No? Who would know?
What vicinity of Gulf Road is it?
Excuse me?
What vicinity? Whereabouts in Gulf Road?
It's on tax map 114. It's at the boundary point of lot 5. It creates the beginning of Northwood along the shoreline of Pleasant Lake. Okay. The boundary pin to the westerly side of that is exposed. That's the one that's on the north side of the road. Okay. In all the maps that I have, there shows one dating back to the 1800s. On the other side, but that I have not been able to find.
Okay. So I'm not sure who would be able to find that information for you. Do you know who would be able to find that information?
I would think the assessor's department would know the exact location of the pin and perhaps...
Okay.
Maybe the tax mappers.
Tax mappers, so I would call the assessors and then...
the other thing is a private survey company would come in on behalf of the town to establish that.
Okay.
If that's what the town decides that they want to do.
Okay.
And if you have that in your budget.
Okay. So I guess there's your answer.
Have the assessor look at it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have some research. I'm sure you should have everything that I have. But if need be, I could leave my...
You the gentleman that I spoke with about the book and page 1843?
Correct, the preambulations
yeah,
for
not, that number is at the Rockingham registry is not anything to do with that. It's
now, I do have a copy of Deerfield's version of the preambulation, which still dictates the actual boundary line between Deerfield and Northwood on the lakefront.
Yeah, I have some information in the perambulation book under Deerfield Northwood, but since you just called today, I'm going to need some time to kind of review this info, and I'll talk with the assessors.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else real quick? Public, citizens forum, sorry. Just real quick. Absolutely.
We talked earlier about the budget committee meetings and that kind of thing, and I just want to make it official while we have a meeting and whatever. Budget committee needs to review the entire budget, including warrant articles, in one fell swoop, so that we know overall how much money the selectmen are proposing that the town vote on. It's rather difficult to look at a $3+ million budget and not have all of the warrant articles, or more urgently, not have all the backup that is needed. We've run into this problem before. We don't want to run into it again this year. So basically, if the backup isn't there, ideally, if there can be backup underneath each line, I know that that can be cumbersome. I know that turns into 50 pages versus 24 pages or something. But it is helpful, particularly since we have a lot of new members on the budget committee.
Under each line of the budget?
Right, if there's a big change, if there's, you know, the kinds of things that we've had in the past, Tammy.
Yeah.
We have a number of new members, and it will make it much easier for them to not have to look at an explanation sheet here and compare this line item with that line in the budget. If it's all right there, the school has been doing that for us for several years, and it works out great.
We used to do that.
We used to do that some time ago.
But I noticed some of them.
Some of the
fill in,
departments
but
don't do it,
most of them
but
do not.
most
Right,
of us still
so,
do it.
you know, if it's a big number, if it's a change or whatever, perhaps somebody can proofread it and go through
So that way we know
it.
what it's getting for.
I'm sorry?
So that way we know what the change is for.
Exactly, and we don't have to go back and forth trying to get answers if the person who knows isn't available at that time.
Yep.
But we do need to have all of the backup. Without the backup, several members have said, if there isn't an explanation as to why this amount of money, we're not going to approve it. Plain and simple.
Understandable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Would the board like me to contact the department heads and let them know they need to
Yes.
go back into each of their line
If
and
they have any-
validate
if-
underneath it what it's for?
If they have anything that's a major, what would be considered a major increase. I'm not looking for,
Anything that, if they went through it and said, what's this for? It needs an explanation.
okay,
Underneath it, in writing. Yeah, so every
That
note,
works.
every account will have a note.
that works.
Board's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna, anybody else, citizens forum? All right, we're gonna move right into budget because we have the library here for 6 o'clock. Come on up.
Congratulations,
doing?
Donna. Very exciting, huh? You have a celebrity at the table. Thank all of you for nominating her and seeing her excellence in our town.
They'll let you down and
Okay, what page are you guys on? 21. All right, so why do I have this little plastic thing between my two
This is like
budgets?
fancy.
that's the one you worked on. That's the new, the one under the plastic was last week's worksheet.
Okay, the new one?
That's the new one. So next week, that one will be under the plastic.
I get it, I just wanted to see what it was
So
there
that way you
for.
guys can see what you're building.
Okay, I just wanted to see what it was there for. Thank you. I was just like, what's all this for? It's all fancy. and stuff.
You can dress us up, but you can't.
Oh, page 20. Oh, I'm on recreation, sorry. Wrong people. Page 21.
Wow, you got, yours is 2 pages long.
That's
We put all the notes in.
Some departments
All
put the
done.
notes in still, yes.
Which we know is very much appreciated.
Some
We've heard
departments
that
still
message
do
from the
it.
budget committee for many years, thank you.
They've been doing it for years, a lot of them do, yeah. It's only a few that,
But it's
we'll work on them.
very well explained.
So, I think your biggest jump is in maintenance, it looks like. Or building maintenance at the library, that looks like to be the biggest increase anywhere.
Yeah, we have the fire doors to replace 2 doors downstairs and the front door, so estimates in there.
Okay.
Those are the items in the budget. I know one thing we wanted to talk about tonight, sometimes we have the building memo of understanding, which I made copies for, for you as well. But the other larger items that we make requests through through facilities, and then we're not sure if it goes into the facilities budget, the town budget, or the library budget. So this year we had sent, back when Kate was administrator, we had sent a list of 4 items that we needed in our opinion, to address this coming year, but didn't seem to be something that would go into our budget. So just a discussion here. We know that we should be replacing our air conditioner, our furnace. We need exterior painting for the building and repairing the parking lot. So just figuring out where those items would go. Would they be warrant articles? Would they be a line item in the town budget, facilities budget?
I think, doesn't painting fall under facilities budget? I'm not sure about AC, where did that fall?
Is it like a, what
So
kind of
we'll be
units?
actually replacing the current AC and furnace that
What
are
do you
at
got
the
for
end
an
of
air
their life.
conditioner? Is it like an outside compressor?
Yes.
Facilities?
Where did we take that money out of when we did it in here? When
We
did
had a
it-
warrant article for here.
The new ACs?
That would probably be facilities. The furnaces usually come out of facilities, or if it's an emergency, you take it out of your budget if you have to. But if you're planning it, you could put that in your budget under building maintenance. That could be a line item in the library budget. The one at community hall was.
So adding it into
The
the,
board can add it into your budget.
And then the parking lot would be facilities too, correct?
we just wanted to make sure those were not overlooked and didn't slip off the to-do list.
Steve Bailey should get, yeah, you'd make a list of things you know of, and you'd get together.
So I think painting is, Steve's really on top of that as far as facilities committee.
Yeah, she'll make a list too, Tammy, when they have to have a meeting of the minds.
Maybe we should put the AC in the actual budget, where that could be overlooked as a facilities committee thing. They usually tend to concentrate on the outside of buildings. From my kind of experience, they like to keep them snuff outside.
So the furnace AC into,
The budget.
Our
So
building
that-
maintenance
so that
line
way
in
we
the
know that one
library
gets
budget.
So we know that gets taken care of, whereas if the facilities budget, warrant article, say happens not to pass, or there, something does, I mean, painting, not that we don't want painting to happen, but it's not as. Yeah, we need heat.
right? And
So
we
that
did,
one, at least we know it's gonna get fixed.
and if you're looking at amounts, estimates right now, we did get a couple estimates on the furnace, only one on the AC, but one was the furnace and AC together for 7,800.
Okay, so you would just add that into your
Okay.
building maintenance line? Is that what you wanna do this year?
Gotcha.
Okay,
Board, yes.
so did you hear that? That number?
AC, I did not hear that, I'm sorry.
So
Need that?
furnace slash AC, 7,800.
So we put that in the notes and then add that to the building maintenance line.
7,800, okay?
And then I think we should keep the parking lot and the painting to the
So
facilities
would the
committee.
furnace not need to be
Do you
repaired
have
for 500
numbers?
then?
That's actually replacing the furnace and the AC.
No, you have furnace repair.
So that would go away.
So that would probably go away, because knock on wood, with
Yeah.
a new furnace and AC, we wouldn't need the repairs that were,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
The door we have on our
We've got
building
quotes.
maintenance line for
Yeah, she's got some
5,206.
quotes for it.
Yeah, you should have a packet, because I went to Kate, okay.
So she has the printer already in her budget.
Give you a copy of this.
And you said fire doors?
Fire doors, that's to replace two regular doors downstairs with
They're right there,
fire.
Osmond.
Yep.
So this is gonna go up another 7,800.
73.
78.
Well, minus the 500. Right?
Right, so you just take the 500 out, but put 78 for, okay.
And that way, if we can let the budget, facilities committee do the paving and the painting, whereas, not that those aren't important, as important as furnace, but the furnace is definitely needs to be done.
Right. And the door needs to be fixed.
The front door has a lot of issues.
Yes.
This week was a screw coming out of the mechanism that forced the door open, so we have it temporarily fixed, but it just like is constant
Right.
constantly creating issues for us.
Is there anything else that you see that you may need to explain?
It's pretty much the same,
Everything else is basically the same, except the biggest one was building maintenance.
correct?
These were on the CIP as well, weren't they? The
Yes.
furnace, okay.
Yes.
Didn't you, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you already get some quotes to paint that building?
We did, and those were, we had sent that to Kate, and then I resent it to Tammy and Sandy. So for
You have the
painting,
quotes
I
on the top of
do.
Your head?
There's no painting in here,
You don't have the quotes in there that she sent you?
Do you happen to have them?
not for painting. We have all the other quotes.
Paving.
I do.
Oh, paving.
I may have,
I think I
could
said
get
painting.
I can give you that estimate now. I don't have a copy. But
Just
it-
give
He
them.
actually didn't give us an estimate, he just emailed it, but to,
Are we talking paving or painting? I'm
I think you're asking painting at this point?
Painting, yes.
Painting, 2,900 for the exterior.
Okay.
2009.
And that was from Mr. Hodgson.
Why, that's why I knew you had asked, because you told me you had asked them. That's why I kind of knew you had asked.
And the
So she does-
paving was there were two different quotes. One was for kind of like a easier fix for 1,900 and a more extensive one for 11,000.
So
Or
the
you mean a
painting was
weekend
29.
fix.
Did you get
Yes.
that?
Painting was 29.
Yep. And then you
Is the
have the paving
11,000
ones,
like
correct?
tearing up stuff
those
as
are
well?
Yes, cleaning, edging, saw cutting, digging out, shim coating, overlaying the whole.
Steve Bailey.
Which at this point would probably be a good thing to do.
So other than that, I think I'm okay. Do you have any more questions?
No. All the questions have been answered.
Yes, I like it. Thank you very much. And like she said, congratulations.
Thank you.
We would
I
have loved to
appreciate
have,
your support.
we would have loved to have attended, but we had a meeting that night.
No, it's this Saturday.
It's this coming
Yes,
Saturday.
they have something else this Saturday.
Yeah, it's this
Oh
Saturday.
yeah, I'm working.
Yeah, I
I
know.
get so confused. There's so many
Scott's
different things
in
going
Arizona,
on.
he's working, so I'll pop in for a little bit.
Trunk or treat's going on Saturday. It's gonna rain.
They'll have cookies.
All right.
Cookies and cake.
I like
Diane's
cookies.
cake.
Oh, and cake.
I like cookies. All right.
Diane's cake, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're gonna move along. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. We're gonna go to Parks and Recreations. I see she's here, so we will go right in order. So we really only have one question for you, only because this kind of come up was, we were just wondering the $6,000 that you're adding. What are we actually, what are we doing with that money? I know it's for the sand, but is that gonna make it so we can use that?
Yes, that will be part of the major final step to finish the Route 4 baseball, softball field located upper.
Right.
So we did the backstop,
Looks nice.
thank you, and we'll be able to do the build-out of the lines, which there is actually lines there. They did do a build-out before. It's overgrown. We are looking to change the field, modify it, so that it's more practical
Right, I
for...
think it was meant for like,
It was
older
definitely
team, maybe?
more of a Major League Baseball
Yeah.
diamond that was going in there, but now it'll be conducive for
for Northwood.
community, adults, softball, baseball games, and also youth.
Great.
So that's what the sand would be for that.
So then it will be all done after the sand?
I mean, we're going to have to get some bases, and then down the road, we do have in our CIP that we're looking to get some benches and bleachers. There is a bigger picture to it, but we should be able to, with the sand, get on that field very quickly, quicker than later, so.
We can use
Yeah.
chairs for now, right?
We could use chairs, and there's a lot of communities that do that.
Yeah. Because you get used.
But we probably would want to consider getting player benches,
Oh, yeah.
which are fairly inexpensive. We're probably talking about each sideline $200 apiece. And we
Are they
could
on the
probably,
budget?
Get that out of the rec fund though.
well, we'll probably be able to get that either out of revolving account or in our programming, because we've been purchasing items down the road over the years, and we're starting to see that we have a little bit of money left over in that program fee, so we could probably take it out of that too.
It's nice to have,
Yeah,
check in the box.
And then the only
absolutely.
The only other thing, and I know Scott kind of brought this up, was he was concerned that we were having problems recruiting lifeguards because we weren't paying them enough, and he was wondering if
Well,
put any thought in increasing that line. I know he did bring that up last week.
so there's wiggle room in that line to begin with, because when that budget line was set, it was set probably about 5 years ago, when you really had a full staff of lifeguards, and it's been building the last 3 years. So what we pay the lifeguards is basically what the Board of Selectmen approve,
Right.
as far as their hourly wages. Competitive is $12 an hour, and I think we're getting there. So maybe when we do the rehires for next year or new hires, we would revisit that wage line, and we
think
would
that's what
still
his
be able
concern
to.
was, is there room to possibly offer more in that budget? I think that's what his question
Yeah,
was.
I would believe so. Because really, we're less with lifeguards, which means that,
Plus, we're not using them because of certain times a year where we can't have them there because of the pollution in the
It's
water.
not going to be
whatever it
closed
is.
next year.
well, I know, we were closed from, June
Hope not.
22nd through till August 22nd.
Yeah, hope not.
And, you see
Which
leftover
left us money,
wages.
right, Yeah.
And life things, whether a lifeguard can't work. I mean, they're not going to fulfill their 29 hours every single week. So,
So I think really that's all of our, was my most questions.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Absolutely.
Just a point of information here. Historically, when we've worked on the ball fields, and we have done any type of construction or building of the ball fields, it's come out of the capital reserve.
okay,
We have a ball field capital reserve fund. Typically, historically, what's happened is we've done a warrant for like 6,000, 10,000, 20,000, put it in the reserve, and as it's being built, we take it out of the reserve. Is there a reason why we're not following that?
well, I believe Facilities Committee said that the project was complete in their eyes. So if you had something that was ongoing with
But that's
them,
not a facilities project, that's a ball field committee project.
well, it was a facilities project, and now Recreation is taking it over.
Correct.
I'm just wondering why we're not following the same protocol, that's all. Okay,
Well, it was handled differently. I think you had,
okay.
another committee that was handling that way. Record wanted to see
I
if they
think
could put
this
it in
sand
that sand and
thing has been a
maintenance
little bit
line.
of a head-butting thing since the beginning.
Well, I'm just wondering, because if there's gonna be more work done,
That should be the
should
last,
we,
that's the
should
end
we
of
be
it.
putting in,
That part of it.
funding that capital reserve again, and start putting money in each year and let the townspeople
So
vote
if
to
the baseball
say.
diamond's done
Right,
next year, well, in the spring,
If we do the,
what's the next
we do the
area?
dirt.
So.
The next area is definitely gonna have to go on a warrant, because that's the big.
well, that's what I'm
one.
wondering, should we start building that
agreed,
capital reserve up
agreed.
like we did
I
before?
don't think she's worried about building it for the dirt, it's more or less building it up for the future.
Well, for all of it, really,
Wanna-
because
right.
if you put in 10 or 15 in this year, you can use the 6. That'll still leave you some for next year. Next year, put another 10 or 15. We did that for several years to build that up.
Well,
And
yes,
then all that construction comes out of that.
absolutely, and we have put that in the CIP.
Okay.
Okay, so.
So the whole build-out, whether
So,
it's
like-
irrigation, we'll probably at some point in time have to reseed,
Yeah.
give it another good foundation. And not only that, we have the possibility of building even a soccer field, which not necessarily would it be soccer, would be basically a lined utility field
Right.
where, and so that is stuff that we really put out in the CIP, and then we
They have
could
to
do
be a warrant
that.
because they're capital outlays.
That would
They
be
can't
correct.
budget items.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just questioning because I see it in here and I'm like, that's not our typical
So
protocol.
do we need to start that?
Well, theoretically, if it's on the CIP, shouldn't it be a part of one of the warrant articles?
It'd be part of the warrant,
So,
right.
exactly. So,
That's why I'm questioning
What-
Do you know
why.
what year the CIP for that? Do you have any idea?
We didn't put the sand in the CIP because we were looking to have it up and running hopefully for the spring. And that was pretty much why we were going for that
well, I remember
direction.
how this kind of all took about, because we actually met up there, and we were supposed to meet up there, and the facilities committee just basically said, if you want it, you're gonna have to put it in your budget. And that was sand. That is kind of how it went. It is. I was up there, because they didn't actually even show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
But we're very grateful for what the
I
facility
get what you're-
committee has done.
What you're
for the
saying as far
field.
as future makes 100% sense, because the soccer field or lacrosse field or utility
Well,
field is gonna be a lot more expensive.
Absolutely.
Right,
It's a
right.
significant project.
you don't want to be doing 6,000 this year and then next year the budget jump 50,000 because that wouldn't be a budget item. It's a warrant item.
Right.
Right,
So
we're
we wanna
aware
make
of
sure We're
that.
consistent, so that when the voters go to the ballot box, they know
Right.
Mm-hmm.
the procedures we always follow. And we're not changing it year to year.
No,
That's it.
So you're comfortable with just the 6,000 now?
I am, I feel good. I mean,
Gonna go-
we don't have like a really large budget, but we work within our means, and I think that the community is getting more and more involved with volunteer and donations, so that's really helped. So we're able to stabilize at the number that we have for our budget.
Well, plus, I think if we put, like you're saying, with the CIP, if you're showing them that you're making steps, they might approve the next biggest step. Because you're gonna go from like nothing to, it's gonna cost probably $500,000 to do the lacrosse field by the time we're done.
It would be, I mean, we've had donated services in the past as far as the removal of the ledge,
Yeah.
which we, really appreciate. If we could get something like that, that would really help cut the costs. So,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glenn, are you ready? We're a little early. Come on up. You're next. On page 9.
John, you're gonna plow for us this year, right?
Okay. Wow, it's like, look up at this for me. My biggest question is what's the big increase for part-time officers?
So what number are
So
you
big.
showing?
66.
40, yeah, it's an increase of 34,000. The salary part-time officers.
Yeah, so that's a better number than it was. So we've always had 3 part-time positions.
Okay.
For the longest time, we haven't had 3 in that position. We do now.
Okay.
And then we've kind of always shot low than actually budgeted
Okay.
in the past,
So this isn't, I
so
just want to.
this number represents 2 part-time shifts per officer a week.
Okay,
So it's actually a real number of what we would spend,
okay.
rather than getting to the end of the year and being like, okay, guys, you're off the schedule for 2 weeks or 2 months, so.
All right. I just saw it and I was like, it felt like it was a new position almost because it was such a big drastic increase. That's why I asked. And that's really it though. That's the biggest one right there. That's all of it. Everything else is the same.
Yeah,
Just to report, because he's up here and the police commission's up here, the police cruiser committee did meet and they have decided to recommend that the select board and the budget committee keep the purchase of the police cruiser in the budget with the understanding that they would also like to recommend that we allow with the police chief and with the help of the police commission decide which car to rotate out because some cars do age faster than others.
A lot of running hours on some, I'm sure.
Well, it's some cars
Yeah.
you can get brand new and the next year they're junk, and some cars might be 10 years before they go junk. It's just as buying a new car, it is what it is.
Historically, they've rotated them out.
By year.
They do that, they make that decision historically anyway. We
But,
would not- we
and
would
then
not
that's
do
it.
that.
And my other question, and I'm sure this may be because of price increase, what made you go up 3,000 in that line?
on the cruiser.
Yeah,
So when we got the one this year, the dealer gave me the heads up that Ford's going up this year.
okay. That's why I
He didn't-
figured it was
Yeah.
price.
He didn't have the number, so he said if you went about 3,000 from what you did, you should be in the
I
ballpark.
figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
I figured it was either that or you wanted an SUV that was more expensive.
Yeah,
or
no, we're gonna go all SUVs unless something changes.
Now on.
Sedans are just so small,
Yeah.
and not comfortable whatsoever, so, and the price difference between sedan and SUV is marginal at best, so.
Definitely.
That's it. The only thing I could add is maybe this is a point to what Ginger made, is maybe put a little note under why the PT went up so much, so that way the budget committee knows and people might know, just for the help.
I got you covered.
And that's really all I have, because that's the biggest increase,
Right,
really, that's the
right.
biggest one. Do you want to do police commission while we're right here?
Yes,
And we can do everything else that
Just
you're
know
here
we
for.
gotta do animal control as well.
Yep, we can do all of that while you're right here. Because we're still ahead of schedule, so it's not like we're going too far. All right, so police commission will be page 9. Unless there's anything else you want to touch on, I don't want to cut you off. But
You all set?
really, the biggest one was that. That was my biggest question. And you guys really have nothing to talk about either.
No.
You don't want to raise?
We don't get paid.
Nothing from nothing.
But we gave our administrator a raise because she deserved it, and that's the only increase I think you'll see, the only real increase.
I'm okay with all of that. Well, I guess we can move on to animal control then, unless you have anything on that. I don't see anything.
No, it's big.
No, I'm not doing it.
If you think those two are easy.
Yeah, this one's,
17 and 18. I don't see, all that is the standard increase, so I think we're good there too. So that's it. That's all. OPD wage grants program, that's the next one that you don't need that?
No,
Nothing?
we never discussed, there's nothing in that.
Okay.
it's the state funding,
Yeah.
doesn't
So
change.
we're okay with all that good stuff, so that takes all of that. Guys have anything else?
We do. So our 2019 highway safety grants came in,
Yeah.
so I just need the board to accept those.
Okay. Do you need us, can we wait until we do all of our things, or would you like us to accept them now so you can go away with them?
That would be wonderful.
We can take them right now and accept them right now.
So basically, it is for DWI and speed enforcement grants. It's 100% funding from highway safety, and our amount this year is,
Those are your PD wage grants, what he's talking about right now.
Yeah, I know. I get it now.
$9,491.
Okay. That's awesome.
So I just need a vote that you accept those, and then a vote that you can sign all 43 pages with me sometime other than tonight.
Can I sign them? Can you leave them in the town hall and I can sign
Well,
them?
what I'd like to do is, because historically, there's always one missed, like literally there is all over the place, so I'd like to sit down with you and go.
Okay. Are you
Page by page.
available Friday
The
afternoon?
library's
I
doing
am.
cookies, maybe he'll give you cookies too.
I can. Are you available Friday afternoon?
Yep, should be.
Afternoon? I can do it afternoon. Best place to just come to the police station and have them page you or whatever?
Yep.
All right, I can do that, but I
Yeah,
can make a
I'm not-
motion to do that.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I don't want to sign all those tonight. I'll make a motion to allow me to sign them now.
Do a lot of stretching.
Yeah. You'll get scribblier.
So can I have that to make a motion, please? I can sign the one, can't I?
There's the amount, right?
There, okay. I'm gonna make a motion to allow the chair to sign a PD grant from the State Agency of New Hampshire Department of Safety, Office of Highway Safety for a DWI program in the amount of $9,491.00. This is a 100% grant.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. I will come down Friday afternoon.
And I think you had to just, did you include that you can sign that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
said, sign on behalf of the board, isn't that what I said?
Just checking.
That's it.
I was
I
looking
thought I
at
said that.
Just checking.
Huh?
Just checking.
I just wanted to, I might have said it wrong, but I thought I said it that way. So I will come in and I won't sign any of this, but I'll see you, I'll stop by Friday. It'll be noontime right on my way home from work. I'll just stop in and have them call you or whatever. If you're there, you're there.
It should take about a half hour.
It's fine.
So just so that you don't have to come back again, or if that's how the town of Northwood does it, you can also motion to accept the funds, or when the funds come in, you have to come back again.
No, usually you just send us a PO.
No, usually you guys vote to accept the grants,
Okay,
then you vote to have the chair sign the grants.
okay. So I'll make a motion to
You have
accept
to
it.
accept the grants
Okay.
from the state.
I'll make a motion to accept the grant for, what is it?
Something, all right. I just missed it.
$9,491.
$491 when the funds are available, so the police chief doesn't have to come back in.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I knew there was something missing.
We almost had it. Thanks, guys. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go right in order. We're gonna go planning, we're gonna stay right on order. So we'll go planning and development next, page 7. And looks like the only thing you're going up on is contracted services.
Yes.
And what for? Just 'cause I gotta
Okay,
ask.
that is for the addition of the Access GIS. We're going to have the mapping and assessing as a link on our website. We talked about it a week or two ago, and this would be the increase. We're now spending 1,000 for the mapping, and then we're gonna change to a different program, and it'll be 2,400 instead of 1,000. So that's the $1,400 increase. And that's a complete assessing records online, so anybody can go on and access our assessing records from home, from a business computer, wherever.
Yeah, that was what they
Right.
came in
And
here
that's
sold.
what that's for.
Okay.
Now, one thing I will mention to you, I don't know if it makes any difference, but the rest of that line is for the contracted planner that we have through Stratford Regional Planning Commission. I will mention that I've had a discussion with the executive director. What's happened in the past is that the selectmen have entered into a contract with because their fiscal year is July 1 to June 30, and they give incremental changes to their staff based on their status, whether they're a planner, a senior planner and such. And the contracts have always been somewhat open-ended because we don't know when we go into the contract if someone will receive a higher rate, we have to pay it. So what happened this year, again, as did 2 years ago, the rate changed on July 1. So what we've discussed, and I think will work much better, the executive director is behind the concept, is to come out with so Northwood has a contract for a set dollar amount for the year. So they have to work back their hours if they give an incremental raise.
Okay.
It may mean some reduction in hours. I would suggest on this number, you consider the idea, just to make things easier, rather than the $30,039, if you which breaks down to $27,639 for the planner or planning services, and then the $2,400 to round that up to $28,000, making that line $30,400, just as a more rounded number. And that way, when we get the contract, it'll be for $28,000 for the year. That would include everything, the incidental costs that are charged, as well as the rate of pay.
So why don't we do that? We'll raise that to 30,400. If that's Sandy.
And I think it'll make it a lot easier when we enter into that
So
contract.
that's only going to make it go up with $360, so 361.
And as far as the other items, as far as the supply line is going up, we have, a couple of years ago, we got a large order of file folders, envelopes. We stocked up a bit, and now we're low, so we're in one of those years where we need a little bit more on the supply line.
Okay.
I think, other than conservation, all of my other departments are actually level funded or have gone down because of the change in postage.
So, yeah, I think zoning board is fine. It's gone down because, like you said, change of postage, so I don't think we need to mess with that at all. So are you okay with that one?
Yep.
Budget committee is level funded.
Conservation committee.
Okay.
Conservation, page 24. Let's look at it real quick, though, so that way we don't skip over it.
Okay, I can explain here. We've changed one of the titles. It gets very confusing with, we had town forest land management, and we had forest land management. We had different titles that really were rather confusing. So we're asking for the same amount of $2,000. But we put it all under contracted services, and the reason for that is because until the Conservation Commission has their annual meeting with the forester and they make decisions as to what projects they might be working on, sometimes it's actual town forests that are non-revenue projects, such as blazing, such as looking at having the forester go out and make some recommendations prior to a cut. So we've like to put the 2,000 in that line with the idea of keeping the other two lines open, and for, at least for a few years, see, the expenditures will show in the two lines below it where it might go as they're expended, but I think that'll give us a better idea on budgeting, rather than just carrying these lines that have $1 in them and we never use them. For a couple of years, we'll see how it goes and move that money over. The only other line that there is an increase is in training and conference, and there has been some interest. We have some new folks on that committee, and there's more interest in people attending the conference. They have one spring and fall, so I think that if they have the funds, they will be more going in 2019.
Sounds good. I don't see anything wrong with any of that. It really didn't change. All your budget really only went up $150 for training. Just move some things around.
Right.
So that's conservation. Budget administration, page 6. Moving right along. See, I told you I could make up some time.
Good job.
And this is level funded, but is reduced due to the postage line.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one too. We already did library. So, actually, do you have anything else?
That is all I have.
Thank you very much.
Other than, again, requesting the selectmen to hopefully find a zoning board member. We are really in a very difficult situation. We only have 4 regular members.
Could we put that out, please?
We've put it out. I would ask that the selectmen incur the cost of another ad.
Yep, we're gonna have to, because we have to have
We
an
have
actual-
to keep putting it out there.
Can we also put that maybe on, yeah, bulletin board? Do we have to
The
pay for
bulletin
Indeed?
board and the community chat, maybe, forum. I mean, everybody's been accommodating to put it out there, but I think another ad would help.
And Suncook Sun?
Yeah, and,
Maybe,
I mean,
somebody want to maybe possibly throw something on the Facebook community chat page? I really don't like going on that page, but
Do you mind
I
doing
can
that?
do that,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I can
just
do
throw it
that.
out there. Maybe somebody will see it. That
I've
doesn't
reached
normally
out
see
to the 2 gentlemen that were former members that did help out, and they're busy and can't
Okay.
participate, but we have some very involved cases, and we really should have 5 members, or we're putting ourselves at risk.
it. Okay, well, we'll try to get it out there. Unfortunately, we can't force anybody, but we can
No,
try.
we can keep shaking the bushes.
We can try. Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much.
we have the treasurer. Would you want to come up? Page 6.
Starts at 5.
He's level funded, so
Yep.
obviously we don't see any issue.
There hasn't been anything like supplies so far, but Sandy and I split costs, and it's coming out of my budget this year
Good.
for the boxes.
Seeing to get all that
Usually
extra
it's
money.
mine.
Yeah, well, we go back and forth.
Right.
We share supplies, so,
I appreciate you coming, but I don't see any issue with your budget.
okay.
Thank you.
How do you
You're welcome.
complain about, perfect.
Thanks. All right, so
Thank you very much.
here we go. Trustees of trust funds, come on up. I know you guys have some questions. Let's take care of the budget first, and then we'll discuss the laptop concern, okay?
Well, I guess part and parcel, but okay.
Partial part, okay?
It's part and parcel of one or the other. I mean, if we're not gonna fund the,
Oh, we're gonna fund it this year. That's why let's take care of the budget.
okay, so we're gonna fund it this year. So
Yes.
then,
Well, I want to fund it this year. I didn't say, let me rephrase that, because there's another person that can vote. I want to fund it this year.
so the stipends stay the same, the contracted services for bookkeeping stay the same. Still $200 looking for the filing, the lock filing cabinet. Move that into next year.
Okay.
And then the travel, we need to go to 225. In prior years, when Terry was running the education for the trustees of the trust funds out of the state's attorney general's office, it was $35 at a hotel in Concord. They've now merged it in with the municipal association, and so it is
Training, right?
$75, the training.
That's training, not travel.
Training
Actually,
and
it's going to
travel.
be wasn't it 90 for this? No, 75 this year, okay.
So we need to bump that to at least 225.
So training, okay.
So you want to move that from 120 to 225, is that what you're saying?
$1.
Because right now it's at,
120.
Yeah, 120.
so you want to go 225?
225.
Okay.
Because it looks like that's what they're going to continue to do.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would suggest is, if Beth is on board with doing the laptop this year, I don't know how you feel with that.
Yeah, didn't we?
Well, we can't have them,
Didn't we already say yes to that?
We were
like 2
waiting
weeks ago?
on whether or not we had, funds. You can come in if you want. We're almost done budget, and then we'll go into you. We got 2 more after
We got
this.
2 quick ones after this, yeah.
Yes,
No,
we were waiting on
definitely.
budget.
Yeah.
We were waiting on, and now that we.
And are we all set? Can
Well, we
we?
had found, the concern was, at the time, we weren't sure where we were gonna get the funds for the safety complex, but now that we found those, we should be able to find
we're
this
all set.
$1,000 very easily. So what I will do is I will make a motion. Do we have a PO for that? I can go off of?
We do not.
Okay,
So
so,
we were waiting for a decision.
our PO's closed Friday, correct?
They did, but you guys can approve anything, you're the board.
They're gonna take it out of 18 instead of putting it in for 19, is what you're saying?
Yes.
So this is
We're
coming
gonna change that line. Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so what are we changing,
I'm
what's,
just
okay,
following you.
what are we changing the supply line to?
The supply line is gonna go to 200, because all they'll need is the filing
He needs a
cabinet.
file cabinet.
They won't need the $800 for the laptop.
Okay.
So that will actually make their increase, like, maybe $130, 300, 300 and something.
425.
Yeah, 425 instead of 1,100. So what motion do I need to make
You
so that
need
can happen?
to,
Or can they give you a PO and we can do it the next meeting? I
well, you
want to
can
try.
motion them to spend it out of this year's budget, and then we can have a PO ready for you
At the next meeting.
at the next meeting when we get the actual cost for mainstay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to allow the trustees of trust funds to purchase a laptop. Are you saying it's not to exceed $800? Is that what you need?
No.
No,
It's gonna be about $1,200.
yeah.
Okay, to purchase a laptop out of this year's budget.
Does that include the appropriate software that you need?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the original budget that we did was, we just looked at, we're going to the market and buying a laptop. And that's not really the best thing for us to do. We should go through Mainstay, have them register it for the town and all of that, and buy the software.
Second.
So it's gonna be 1,200 or 1,400.
Make a second, okay.
And that includes the
Includes all the
software we
software
need
that you
on
need.
that? QuickBooks.
It will include Windows, Word, Excel, Microsoft
I
Office.
have a second for discussion, just to let you know. I would just like to say that this is good. We can't have it on somebody else's computer now, and I think, Jim, you were a part of that meeting that we had with all the joint boards. One of the biggest things we discussed during that is communication and keeping better records, and I think this is a step for these people to keep better records for the town. I know you were a part of that meeting, and that
Yes.
was one of the biggest things that we had discussed in that meeting.
Yes.
So,
I'm fine with the 1,200, as long as there's enough money for
Well,
all
we
the
have,
things they need
we
for the
have, if you
computer.
look, there's numbers, and we might not be able to get it out of their direct budget, but they'll
well,
be
we
online.
can take it out of their budget and overexpend it, but the board has to understand their budget's gonna be overexpended bottom line.
Yes,
As long as you guys bless that.
we
I
understand that.
mean, the budget itself may absorb it.
Yes,
but
we
they're
under-
small.
we understand that.
Yep.
I understand that. That's it. So we gotta take a vote, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 2-0. I know you had talked to Scott, I'm pretty sure he was on board too.
Yes.
I can't speak for him, but I know you had spoke to him.
Yes, he called me. So the other issue we have is sort of budget as warrant article. Okay, we're not gonna do it, all right? Relax.
Maybe you shouldn't have the computer after all.
No computer, that's it, you're done. No,
Use a
God
chalkboard.
has spoken.
There are two expendable trust funds. Okay, one is called the Bicentennial Expendable Trust Fund. It was created on warrant article 28 in 1974.
Yep.
Okay, I've been downstairs, I've researched this tonight to make sure that I have all of my ducks in the line. That is for the Board of Selectmen to fix the flagpole, to buy furniture for here, to do stuff here. Okay, it's not a celebration for a 250th anniversary, unless part of that celebration is to buy new furniture for here.
Okay.
So a lot of people have been calling the Bicentennial Expendable Trust Fund the 225th Anniversary Fund, which is not what from the records, that's not what it was for.
Okay.
Am I correct in stating, and I believe we found this out when we were looking for curtains here, that one is a non-expendable trust fund, which means you can never spend the principal? It's only the interest on that one we can spend. I do believe that's how it was determined by the attorney. And I think that's a non-expendable.
To see if the town will vote to accept the recommendations of the Northwood Bicentennial Committee for the expenditure of surplus funds now held by its treasurer in the amount of $4,500, to be known as the Northwood Bicentennial Committee Trust Fund. The Northwood trustees of trust funds to hold the original sum of money and such additional sums as may from time to time be added to the original sum by further transfers of money from the Northwood Bicentennial Committee or by gifts or devise, must be misspelling, of other committees, firms, and individuals. The income from these monies is to be administered by the Northwood Board of Selectmen for the following purposes only. The yearly repair and maintenance of the flagpole, the yearly care and improvement and replacement of trees, shrubbery, and other features of town parade or any future town parade, and the yearly removal of all brush from the town parade or any future town parade. Any balance of the yearly income may be expended by the Northwood Board of Selectmen for the maintenance and repair of furniture and fixtures within the present town hall or any future town hall. So yes, it is only the income. So what we had asked, what we were asking you in August was, could we combine these two funds? And for the research and getting the warrant articles to do that, no, we can't do that. They're different purposes, they cannot be combined.
Okay. One's expendable, one's not expendable.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
So we need to fix
So
that.
that's, no, there's nothing,
There's nothing to fix.
there's nothing for us
It
to do.
sits as it
So
is.
you asked us to research this and bring forward the
Now you know.
language to do that, and what we're telling you is we can't do that.
Okay.
But the 250th was just recently done, and
Yeah.
that's fine as it is?
That's fine.
Okay, so what we have discussed, it's all set.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's not fine. It's fine because it's got a good purpose. It's not fine because it's not clear what's going to happen after the 250th is over with. So we, you know,
Are we going to stop that fund
we need
once the
to- we need to-
250th is over?
Well, I think, from a financial standpoint, I think what we need to do to make it easier for everybody, including voters, is just call it, Town Anniversary Trust Fund or something, and not put a bicentennial and millennium and all this other stuff on it, and make it very specific for those milestones. And that'd be the purpose. That way we don't have to keep closing one and moving it, opening one, moving it. It creates a lot of records that we just, we archive and they sit out there. We don't need to do that. We can have it.
Like Jim find them.
That's because he doesn't have the laptop that does it.
Sorry, Jim.
But for right now, it's gonna
We love
stay
it,
as it
though.
is, because it's fine for 250, correct?
The 250 is fine now.
So we leave it until that one is done, and then move whatever's left into what your new.
Or
intent to
repurpose
be.
that one.
Or
Rename it. And, right, the same purpose, you can just rename it.
But do you need to, is it gonna be used for the 250th?
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
it's supposed to be used for. I think
But
we
then
should rename it
afterwards, we can
after
just,
that.
we can just
After that.
repurpose it and rename it after.
That's
I would
what
do
I
it.
was
Yeah.
saying.
I would do
It's not broken.
I have a hell of a time.
Right.
Spend it all.
Right.
So, so having a warrant article this year to fund the 250th, that's up to you.
Okay.
It's not on our table.
Okay.
We just want to be clear about
All
that
right.
as well.
Okay.
Is this a year
What do
to
we have
clarify
now?
the language?
How much is in the 250?
I have no idea.
Hang on.
He'll tell you.
Jim has it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
end of his fingertips.
No, I did have it. The 250th, as of the end of September, was $4,579. $4,579.
How many more years before that's up?
Isn't it 23?
23.
23 more years?
No.
No.
5 more years. Like, that might be a lot.
2023?
5 years.
5 years? And we're putting in, what, 1,000 each every year, or is it, do we move it up to 2,000 last year?
Last year you bumped it to 2.
We bumped it up.
So we've been doing 2,000 every year, so in 5 more years we'll have another 10,000, so we'll be about 15,000 by the time we're done. Be pretty good shindig.
Oh, minus fireworks.
So Tammy has
It goes about half your budget right there.
Tammy has an interesting point, is that should we take this year's warrant and repurpose the 250th?
That way it's done and it's not kicking it down the road for somebody else to do it afterwards and it not happen.
So while you found the problem, let's try to fix the
Yeah.
problem.
Fix it now.
So just
It's a matter
change
of
it
changing the
to
language.
new language saying it's for celebrations and milestones, the 250, 275, is that what you guys do every 25 years?
I would think so, every 25 years would be
Okay.
reasonable.
No.
Just call it milestone anniversaries, keep it a little bit more.
Yeah, milestone anniversary is kind of broad. If we have
Milestone.
enough money, we want to do
How do
260,
you
let's
define
do it.
that?
What will happen is when there's
Right.
the younger generation
Right.
coming in,
4 in 5 years, we have to change it.
yeah, you're right.
You're right.
And the Board of Selectmen have the right to spend out of that, so
Right.
they could say, this is not a milestone, yes, this is a
Because
milestone.
they're named as agents.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And it's gonna be another 2,000 this year that I'm putting in the warrant, okay. All right,
You're pretty much going to mirror Anderson.
It did look like a new position.
okay, all right,
Most of them.
great.
Do you need anything else from us? We appreciate
No.
your time.
So
I'm good.
we're gonna change the wording.
Yep.
I'll run that by you when you first draft. And then-
Okay, and then we're gonna add how much to it?
2,000.
2,000 to it, okay.
And so now you have permission to go get your laptop.
Thank
I
you.
will call them in the
Take
morning.
care of it.
You will?
I
You
will
take
shoot,
care
I'll
of that?
shoot them an email,
Okay.
giving me a quote. If it comes in under the 15, I'll get it approved, send it
Well,
back.
we don't- you
If
can
it's
also
over the
have-
15, they'll get another email.
Okay.
You can always have us sign that PO too before a meeting, because we've already approved it.
Right. Right.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're gonna go to audit services, page 4 real quick. We'll bang out the rest of the budget real quick, and then we'll go into our non-public. My guess is that there's nothing on this that's changed,
Nope,
so that one's okay.
we're in a contract, so our annual fees are the same.
Same with assessing, I'm guessing?
Correct.
So I guess we're okay with both of those. Are you okay with both of those? All right, cool. So I'm gonna make a motion to, is there anybody that wants to speak in citizens forum before we go into non-public? Because we don't have a whole lot left. Come on up, Rick, we'll take you real quick.
You're gonna be coming back.
Yeah, but all we have when we come back is minutes, and assessing forms, that's it. If you can, more than welcome to come stay, but that's all we'll have left.
I have a few items.
Few items.
My name is Rick Wolf. I'm totally amazed the last 2 meetings, watching the select board of this town rubber stamp everything and pack everything into the budget, just as the budget committee's done in the last few years. It started with the school board a year ago. Now we pack the police cruisers in, and we just keep packing stuff in and taking away the people's rights in this town. The police cruisers were always voted on by the residents of this town, except for 1 year when one guy stuck them into the budget. And this packing all of it in the back door and just keep bailing the taxpayers into debt. You guys need to think about what you're doing. You guys are out of control. There's older people in this town. There's not all young people in this town that can afford to have their taxes driven out of the site. I was a selectman in this town. I know a lot of people that are behind in their taxes and they can't afford to pay anymore. And you guys set up there, oh, rec committee packs them in for the field 2 years from now. Just keep packing it into the budget. It should be a warrant article. Let the people vote on it. Packing these budgets up is sick.
As far as the police cruiser, if people don't want it in the budget, they can always create a warrant article to take it out of the budget.
We went
did
through
the
that a
police
year
committee.
ago.
Well, then they can vote it down. We did the police cruiser committee like they asked for. They
Another
determined
thing.
to allow it.
You met there, right? Didn't you go on the?
Yeah.
Another thing to do with the cruisers. We don't need a cruiser every year. I thought I heard him say tonight, we're not going to cruisers anymore. We're going to SUVs. They're too small, the cars. I want to tell you, go around to these cities and look. In the city of Rochester, there's guys driving around in Ford Focuses. There's 5 detectives. That's what they drive. Why do we have to drive a $55,000 vehicle just to keep up with Lee and Stratford because they bought one? Why do we have to have a pickup truck? The way you guys just set this all up, they can buy anything they want.
So they put in
We
for-
used to buy $35,000 cruisers.
That's all they put in for.
He said he's going to SUVs. They don't cost $35,000.
$38,000 is what he asked for.
Not for an SUV.
$38,000 is what he budgeted for.
With the state contract, right?
That's what he budgeted for, $38,000.
New lights, all packages we don't have.
I believe they take the lights off of the old vehicles and put but they try, I know they do try.
He only budgeted for $38,000.
I think our roads, there's so many rural roads we need to have the SUVs are more.
We created the committee, that's what they decided. I'm reporting back what they decided. If somebody doesn't like it, they can get 25 signatures and do a petition warrant article. We created the committee like was asked. They came up with what they decided. I'm reporting what they decided.
May I speak?
Sure, you're a citizen.
There are times that I agree with Rick, and there are times we mark it on the calendar when we agree with each other. And I understand where he's coming from, and yes.
Me too.
People are having a difficult time with taxes, but the bottom line is, when it comes to fire and police, we do have an older population. Older populations quite frequently need to use the services far more than younger people do. I want to be certain that we have cruisers available that are going to be able to get to all the different parts of town without any problem. I want to be sure that we have fire equipment that's going to be able to get to the people who need it. We don't need a lawsuit in this town because we don't have proper equipment. I'm sure that the Budget Committee this year, as we have in past years, reviews everything that's in there. When it's a balanced budget, when it's the same as the previous year, it's not necessary to look for places to cut for the sake of cutting. Budget Committee looks for a responsible budget to present to the voters. It's the voters' decision what they approve. Thank you.
I'd like to rebut that. We've never had police cruisers in this town that weren't fit for the road. We've got more police cruisers in this town than we need, right now.
That is subject to opinion, Rick.
That's right. And your opinion and mine are different, I'm gonna tell you that.
No arguing now.
You believe in packing everything into the budget. You have no
Get the
sympathy
hammer out.
and no respect for anybody in this town but yourself. When it comes to the God almighty dollar, I'm gonna say right now, this fire station is gonna be a burden on the taxpayers in this town. We don't need a $6 to $8 million fire station. We need to think. We need to design something that we can afford and something that we need, not something that's elaborate for 25 years from now.
I understand, but that...
I'm just frustrated. Everything gets rubber stamped lately.
I understand your frustration, but that's going on a warrant article. That's not for us to decide what they present
And
for
they
a
know to
building.
keep their very reasonable price as well.
That's up to them to present. We're not telling them what they're presenting.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's out of control, and it just keeps going, and the ball's getting bigger.
Well, Rick, I think you know from being in this seat how far behind we are on certain things in this town. That makes it seem like the budget is continuously growing because we haven't been fixing them
Been Band-Aiding
5 or
for too
10
long.
years ago, and we're stuck to try to fix them all now. The reason why we're in this predicament with the police cruisers is because it was on the ballot for people to vote on, and it was voted down several years in a row, and then our police cruisers got to the point where we had to do something.
Do you know why it was voted down? I could tell you. Do you really want to
Spend
know?
money.
I won't go there tonight. But it's the people's right to vote, and you guys are taking it away by doing the backdoor politics, just what happened at the elementary school a year ago. We voted no on kindergarten. They took it up on themselves to stick it in the budget, and that's just what you guys are doing.
Well, they didn't actually vote no on the police cruiser. They voted to have a committee.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's a vicious circle. Just put it in the budget, shove it down the taxpayers' throat.
Anybody else for citizens forum? All right, so I'm going to make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, paragraph 2A and C.
Second.
Roll call, Donald Hutchin, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
We're now in non-public. I'm going to make a motion to come out of non-public first. Roll call, Donald Hutchin, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
We are now out of non-public. I'm going to make a quick motion. I'm going to motion...
At, oh God, 7:50?
No.
Yes, it is 7:50. Make a motion to accept we accepted Adam Schwab's resignation as a full-time employee. I'm gonna make a motion to allow Adam Schwab to stay on as a part-time on-call employee at the rate of whatever that is, without the lieutenant's, responsibilities.
I second
Did I
that.
say that right?
Rate of pay before he was.
Whatever his rate of pay was before he became lieutenant is what he'll be making.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. I would now entertain a motion to seal the rest of the minutes of non-public.
I second that.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0, and we will move on to finishing up the rest of the meeting.
That was
Minutes?
fast. Did you just motion to seal minutes?
Motion to seal all the other minutes besides the hiring of Adam Schwab to a part-time
We
employee.
don't have the minutes, though.
No, that's to,
What
all the
we're
rest of the
talking
non-public meeting minutes. I made a motion to seal the non-public minutes besides the conversation with Adam
Okay.
about hiring him to the part-time.
All
Is
right.
that okay?
Sure, it's just a different approach. If you're in non-public,
Was I supposed to just seal everything? I thought we had to make that motion.
no, you can just seal, when you go into non-public, it's a sealed meeting.
Okay, that's just the way we've always done it.
So say it one more time, just so, I've got to learn, you guys.
We've always done, since I've been on the board, whenever we come out of non-public, if we want minutes to be, if we want to make a motion to hire somebody, we make that motion.
Yep.
And then we motion to seal the rest of the minutes.
Okay.
We've always done that since I've been on the board.
Okay, I got you.
But usually we don't hire somebody when we come out of, or hire or accept, when we come out of non-public, so we just seal all the minutes?
Okay, because if there's a decision, you just come out, basically you're sealing the minutes, but you come out of it and then you make your decisions.
Correct.
It doesn't matter,
Okay.
because you just make your decisions.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's just the way we've,
Yep,
Scott's
I
always
got
done
you,
it.
it's
so-
just, I gotta get used to it, it's a different town.
The way Scott trained us.
Well, we might not have to do it that way, it's just the way we've always done it, so I'm kind of
Yep, I
like,
got you, yeah, okay.
so we got accepting of minutes?
Minutes, so let me just get myself back to being organized. Minutes. Okay, so you did the September 25th, so you have October 2nd and October 9th.
I'll make a motion to accept October 2nd's minutes as read and October 9th's minutes as read.
Second?
Any discussion? Did you find any issues?
No, I liked the numbers.
Yep, I'd just like to say thank you to Trinity for putting the numbers in. It
Yes.
will make it a lot easier. Other than that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
It wasn't too difficult though, right? There's
No, that's the way it was set up before.
I had to go back and do the other ones.
Okay.
It just probably just wasn't relayed. The message just wasn't relayed.
So what do you want to do next?
Do we have any various assessing forms and applications?
No assessing,
Okay, we'll do manifest.
payroll manifest.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept payroll manifest number 22 in the amount of $89,425.16.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Purchase orders, I'm sure we got a stack now.
They're all from the
Highway?
highway department.
Okay.
And I have, Pete comes in and sits with me and gives me little notes to go along with that, and I tell him that I will, read them in.
Okay.
Oh, great.
All right, so this looks like, these are quotes.
How's he doing? Is he doing well?
He's doing
Yeah,
very,
he's
very well.
actually he's very helpful, and he's
I think,
very good.
I think a lot of my concern is this has nothing to do with him, is that we're so far behind that hopefully we can get, I talked to him today and I told him that we're gonna do the best we can to try to catch up, but there may be some things we might not be able to get to this year.
Yeah.
Because we're at the
You
point
just
where
have to,
it's
yeah.
His biggest concern at this point
sand.
is that he doesn't have a road agent, so he's got certain things that he's not able to do, which is the driveway permits, which I have 2
Right.
of them, that I have to address with the Board of Selectmen. Typically, when you don't have an elected position in that place, one of the selectmen will step in and help out in those types of things. What's happening is the building inspector's giving them to the highway department. Highway department is giving them back to them, saying, I can't do this, I don't have a road agent, and they end up on my desk, and I bring them to you guys, and I have 2 of them in here today. So,
All right, so,
Have you had any letters of interest regarding?
I had a gentleman stop in the other day, but he's not a resident,
Okay.
but he said he's thinking about moving down here, he's got a business or something. So he took an application.
Okay, so I have 3 quotes for sand here, and it looks like we got it from Daco, Fillmore, and Brock's. It looks like Brock's is here, and they have,
It's on a per ton basis.
Brock's, Fillmore is $9.34 per ton. Looks like Daco is $10.25 per ton.
And the first one is, no, Fillmore was the,
Fillmore is $9.34.
yeah, Daco 10 something.
I can't, the Brock's one, I don't see in
The
it.
first page, DJ, is it 14 at the end of there?
Oh yeah, $14 a ton.
Yeah.
I think we make a motion to go with Fillmore as they are the
Did
cheapest.
he have a recommendation, like, I think some have better quality or whatever?
I think
He
we used
said-
Fillmore last year.
You did use Fillmore. I asked him if the product was good. He said yes. But what he said also is that he likes to keep, to give business to the locals. And I explained to him that that's always the intent of the town to do that, but that they also have to be competitive. So that's another $1,200 out of his budget.
I
or
think we should
about.
stay with Fillmore because we've used them before. Nothing against Daco or local business, but we've used Fillmore before. We've had good service and they're the lowest. That's just my opinion. So I'll make that motion if you're willing to second. You want a second?
Second.
Okay. Just for point of reference, just make it, this is another, just make it easier for us from the department heads.
Yep.
When they come with quotes like this, I like that they attach the quotes, but if you could get like a cover page with.
Yeah, he
with-
came into my office.
Yeah, I know it was last,
at 4:30.
I know it was last.
No, it's-
Well, he
But he's
called.
also brand new at this too,
Well,
so.
not only that, no,
Like,
this
this
just
has
wasn't
to
have.
go to them tonight.
Right, it was, he called me too, and a lot of it was, Sandy had to get him in the computer to be able to do POs. It was a lot of, and I understand
He's
that.
overwhelmed, I'm not
Yes,
gonna lie.
and I'm not
He
gonna-
didn't put these into the system yet. He
Right.
didn't have account numbers on them.
He's
We're
and he's
working
doing a
with
really
them,
good job. It's
But
just
if
for
I
future.
go back to him and say, or didn't take
No, we're
that,
fine,
I
we're
don't
fine.
wanna frustrate him.
No, we're
Did the
good.
other person start as well?
Stuart, he's been helping him out.
Yes, that's cool.
I think what you should do is you should go, Pete took me out for a ride, and I think this would be very beneficial for both you and Scott to take that same ride with him, because I feel if we need to maybe increase his budget some more, and I know Scott don't want to go for that $100,000 reconstruction that we normally go for, that we've been going for every year, but I feel like we should go for it again, because you need to take a ride with Pete, schedule it, because he took me around, and we are really behind on a lot of roads. I know we want to do Ridge Road. There's 15 culverts on that road, so that's going to make that price of reconstruction that road even higher. And then there's a catch basin over here on Bull Lake Road he wants to do. There's all kinds of just projects that we haven't
These
seen.
the ones on the list?
No, well, the
Are
catch
these-
basin isn't a new road. It's just
Well, like, no, the road plan, like,
the road plan. The road plan doesn't include
that we
catch
skipped
basin.
1 and 2 years.
Yeah,
and,
the road plan doesn't actually include the catch basins. This is just from the roading away. If you go and ride, you know where Marshall's is on Bull Lake Road? If you, that ditch, you'll see a ditch right there. He wants to put a catch basin there, because right now, if somebody goes on to that, they're basically, the car's in the ditch. There's nothing there, no more. The water
But
just,
at this point, what you're getting from your laborer too, is it 1 or 2?
too.
2. May be different than what you get when your road agent gets in there. So
Right.
it's one of those things at this point, until you get your whole team in there, you've got to just keep going with what you have on your budget, what they've already put in. And I understand that Pete didn't really participate in
No,
that
he wasn't
budget,
allowed
which
to,
is kind of
unfortunately.
hard for him.
He wasn't allowed to, unfortunately, which is,
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult position.
Which
to
is-
step into.
It's sending him behind, really, because.
he is very
he
behind
lost
because
that.
he didn't get it, because there's some things he wants to do that he's come to me that are very reasonable.
Yep.
Very reasonable, things that we could budget for. So I'll finish this motion, and then that's just something that we can discuss later
So
on.
you
when we
want me
continue.
to tell him to put that into a,
Future,
Not this time. but-
future, if he comes to us with 3 quotes, I like all the information he came with us, this is just future, just have a cover letter with the 3 quotes in it.
And the dollar
So I don't
amount.
have to sit there and look to try to find a dollar amount, just a dollar amount. I don't have to look to try to find a dollar amount.
I do
and then-
like having it, so if we
you
want
have to
to look.
understand that getting this has been a 2-week process.
Oh, yeah, because he's so new.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful.
No.
Like, we're trying.
I don't want to put too
I
much
sent him
into
over to Sandy to work with him, then he comes back over. He's just new to this, and he's not a
No,
paper.
tell them we love this idea, but just would like to have the dollar figure there too.
So that way,
You wanted to write it. You
yeah, it
wanted
don't have to,
type
yeah,
it.
it don't have to be
fine.
typed.
Oh.
He
Like
could
just
just write,
with a dollar
he
figure.
could have just wrote 12 something a ton, whatever the ton is, 12 something a ton. And then if we want to ask, what are we getting for that ton, we can look into the paperwork and
Yeah.
see what they're doing.
So just so how I've always done this, and it is much easier. I sit down with these guys when they come in. I know we're passing this over to you, but I could sit here and spill this out to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys are the ones that are taking it and talking. But if you just leave it with me, because I'm sitting down with them,
Yeah.
you'll be done with that in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
All right, why don't you give that to me?
This one?
The whole thing.
All right.
Because see, when he brings it in, I've sat down with him 3 times already and gone over this information. And he's given me backup beside it.
Right.
But for me to say to him after 3 attempts, go back and now kind of attach it to each one of those. I'm trying to get him there, but I don't
I'm
want to
okay with
scare him
going
away.
with Fillmore for the thing.
Okay, Fillmore.
We'll make that motion.
Yeah.
Second?
I second that.
Yeah,
So
call for the vote.
Fillmore for what thing?
Sand,
It was 934.
934 a ton for the sand.
Okay, he didn't have any notes on that one, okay?
You said that he said that they had a
Done it
good
last year.
quality we did last
Yes,
year.
he went with him last
That's
year.
fine.
So
You
that
guys are
vote,
good.
call for the vote, all in favor? Aye. That vote's 2-0. Do you want me to keep going? Do
He needs to get a purchase order for that.
Yes.
He just,
Okay.
you want me to go with the next purchase order is for
if
Arbor?
you want to keep trying, but I can kind of spill it out quicker because
Okay.
we're running,
Go ahead.
like, I got some stuff here
Go
we
ahead.
gotta.
So she'll
just
read
throw it
it,
out
we'll
quick.
sign it.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
pretty simple. Arbor Care Tree Service from the Highway Department. It's for 80 aerial lift for chipping vehicles. This is for dead trees, Ridge Road, Deerfield Road, Green Street, 4 days, $8,176.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Just point of clarification, this is actually in the budget, so we're not expending the budget.
It is in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
So-
Sandy had said that.
Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0.
The next PO from the Highway Department, Vermont Recreational and Fencing Company. This is for some guardrail for Jennis Pond Road and Deerfield Road. The original amount comes in at $3,124. But if the town, when they go to dig the holes, to figure out how deep, it could be a different price. So what he's done is he's put in the $7,074. So it includes the Jennis Pond Road, and then $2,850 for 95 times 30,
That's the polls.
right? And then also 30 post 80, up to $100. So the board would need to motion $7,074 to entertain that request.
I'll make a motion to allow Vermont Recreational and Fencing Company an amount of $7,074 for replacing of guardrails and post. And this is to bring it up to state regulations.
Second.
And this again is in the budget
That'll be done
this year.
this year, this
Yes,
next
this
month,
is
whatever. Okay.
2018.
Any other discussion?
The other thing is that these are filled out after the 20th, but Sandy had said that you guys were okay because he just got in there.
Yes, I'm okay with these.
Okay.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Hey.
Yeah, I've
I
talked
want
to Pete.
guardrail fixed so no one gets
Well,
hurt.
no, we have to, I understand we froze the budget, but literally he became road agent
That
like a
would,
day
that was
before.
not really fair to him.
It
Right.
became literally the
Okay.
day before we
You're in charge,
froze
and now
it.
you have no money.
Yeah,
that's
we
smart.
basically gave him a day.
Yeah, so the next purchase order from Highway DL Daco for $5,000 for
dirt.
1.5 crushed gravel. And this is going to be used on Old Barnstead, Top Dress Bryant Road, Upper Deerfield Road in the next 2 weeks
I'll make that motion.
for $5,000.
I'll make that motion for DL Daco for $5,000 for some dirt, for some gravel, for some crushed stone, for the said roads that she had just discussed. Again, I went on these, Pete actually showed me all these roads, and they need the dirt.
He's doing this?
Yes, he's gonna put it on and then he's gonna grade it. He's gonna actually dump it out there with the 1-ton truck and
Were
do it
these
himself.
roads on the list
Of
to be done,
The
or?
fall, this is fall grading that we normally do.
Okay.
Just, we don't
I know we have the
normally,
list of roads.
He
normally,
says he's not doing fall grading because it's too late.
yes, he's doing, he's putting some gravel, instead of doing grading, because it's too late, he's gonna put gravel in the spots where there's,
really.
ledge showing,
Yeah.
so that the plows don't hit the ledge.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
The next from Highway, purchase order from Highway is Jordan Equipment for a carbide cutting edge with bolts. It's needed for the Chevy 1-ton. Fisher plow, $700.
Okay. So I'll move that for Jordan Equipment for a amount of $700.
Second.
My question is isn't this below the amount where you have to come to us?
Because you froze the budget,
Okay.
you have to see everyone.
No, that's fine.
Unfortunately, I said the same thing.
Is this for the big truck or the?
Yeah, it's basically, it's just a plow blade.
Oh, okay.
Call for the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I was just, usually you wouldn't see this, that's the
Yeah,
only reason why I
exactly.
was
So
asking.
once you freeze it, everybody, anything has to come in front of you. So the next purchase order from Highway is North Country Tractor, chainsaw chain for this STIHL .025, $100.
Yep, we'll move that one.
Yep.
That's, again, we wouldn't see that normally because it's froze.
Yep.
So moved, call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 2-0.
Highway has submitted PO New Hampshire Correctional Industry for street signs that are needed around town, and it is for $150.
So moved. Call for the vote.
Does it say where the?
Tasker Hill Road, 9 High Street. It looks like those are both the two signs. 2 signs plus shipping is $150. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
The next PO from Highway is Granite State Glass for the 2000 Chevy 1-ton windshield. What's
I'll
happening
make
is
that
the
motion.
glare
Yeah, I was with them the other day. I'll make that motion.
Was it tinted or something?
No, the problem is you want to second it for discussion?
Aye, second.
The problem is it's getting pitted, and it's right at that eye level when the sun hits it.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know what time you go through, but Route 4 heading
There's
towards the
certain
school.
times, yeah.
Route 4 heading towards the school at certain times of day is brutal.
blinding, right?
Brutal, right in your eyes.
See,
Just
I
come
have
up
a
over
hard
that hill and
time
it's right there.
Coming over,
brutal.
the hill by Co-Brown.
Yes,
That's where
it's
really
brutal.
bad, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any call for a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Again, a lot of these we wouldn't see if
Right.
we didn't
No, I-
freeze them.
Yeah, almost all of
Yeah,
these.
it's just because he came at
Yeah,
the really
it's
the
minimal,
wrong
I mean.
time.
So the next one from Highway is Pike Industry. It's 3/8 inch hot top, picked up in 1-ton filled potholes on Ridge Road
Yeah,
and
this is-
Harmony Road for $133.98.
So moved. Basically, that's just the coal patch.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
The next purchase order from Highway is for DL Daco for a yard of 3/4 crushed gravel and a yard of reclaimed for $30, used on shoulders in Gulf Road.
Second. So he's been very busy.
Oh, he's
I have to talk to him about Gulf Road. There's something I'd like to ask the board for him to move over there.
to move over there?
Yes.
Move? Him?
Yeah,
He's gonna
move.
move there?
No, to move.
Move something.
Yeah, we own a piece of property over there on Rita Circle, and they put some Jersey barriers up. And when they put them up, basically, you're over there. A lot of people use that pond over there to get across with the snow machines, and they put the Jersey barriers too close so you can't get through with the snow machine. So while he's over there, I'd like him to just spread them apart.
Spread them a little, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so far over there that really the only why he's over there is I
Right,
don't
so
want him to go
while-
out of his way.
while he's
I don't
there-
want him to go out of his way, but if he's there,
Yeah, and he's gonna be working with a surveyor on something.
if
in
he's
Gulf
there,
Road.
just go up and kick him a little bit each way with the backhoe is not a big deal.
Make sure you mention to him, because if you there soon, let's.
I'm sure he'll do it.
So the board is okay with DJ acting as
You
a
okay
rep
with
to
that?
go and have him do that?
Okay.
Okay, great, so that's on the record. Fillmore, next purchase order, Fillmore Industries, a TV axle load 6 to 8 erosion stone?
Erosion stone, yep.
Oh, it's an R, sorry, erosion stone. That is used on Gulf Road, $350.21.
So moved.
Second.
I'll just say this is needed because it did blow out over there. I travel that road quite often.
All that rain, a number on us.
It's the way the hill's designed over there, the road's designed. It's, if you don't put the gravel that he's looking for, the water's gonna wash away the bridge that's down there. It's starting to wash away the corner now.
We can't have that. It's the only way in.
So the next purchase order is Clark's Grain Store for a pallet of magnesium pellets, 40 bags on the pallet, $18.50 used on sidewalks, Town Hall, Fire Department, Police and Library, in the amount of $740.
So moved.
Second.
Just point of order, Pete had asked me to have the person that is in charge of shoveling the walkways to the doors of the buildings and who's the town shoveler to contact him. His concern is when he's out plowing and he doesn't want to be held responsible for shoveling out the path around the gate, to the new transfer station gate.
Who does your
I believe
shoveling?
it's Steve Bailey's son that does our shoveling, and if he's still doing it. He usually shovels the pathways to all the buildings and stuff like that.
I guess we should probably see if Nick Bailey is still going to do that for us, right?
I believe so. He usually does it every year.
Okay, well, I can
Reach out.
So just
Yeah.
add it to
Ask
the.
Steve.
Yeah.
Nick Bailey,
Yeah, well, Steve would probably be the easiest one to get a hold
shovel
of.
town, and add what now? Add the transfer station?
I guess because he was explaining to me how the plow can't get too close because
Correct.
you could, obviously damage by accident.
It's right where the post is and the reflectors are. They can't get it with the plow.
On the new gate?
Yes. So his concern is obviously during storms and after storms, he's not going to have the time to do it. And you can't have the transfer station attendant come in on a day he's not working to do it. So that's why
we have someone shoveling,
we have
driving
that-
down the road, stopping, just.
we
making it
have,
stop
he
as well.
usually shovels all the walkways and he's in there shoveling to the highway department anyways.
So I'll just have him contact Pete to be
Yeah.
more specific on
More,
what
yeah,
he-
basically that's what it is.
I mean, it's not a big job.
No,
it's
it's
just one more
so he
stop.
knows what he's doing.
Can you just send that down with that?
And that's it. Anything else?
It looks as though he didn't finalize, did he already put the Chris Brown trapping through?
Not the purchase order, no. But he did. We did approve it last week, but he just
Yes.
didn't make a purchase
Okay,
order.
because he got it in writing and we went with Sandy and now it's not in that.
We
so-
did approve it, so I think it might have just got lost with so
Okay,
much
so
stuff
he's-
going on.
It's okay that he go ahead and get that going?
Yes, we just need to get the PO.
I know he was very worried
We need
about
to
the
get.
car
Oh
and the
yeah, that was
damage,
the other thing that he brought me
episode.
around to.
Yeah, and he just wanted to let everybody know he's been working with Lance over for the new monitoring well at the lagoon, and I've also had conversations with Dave Elaine about it, so things are moving and you should
Great.
meet your deadline on that.
Okay.
I'm very happy with all that he's done so far.
I love the fact that he's keeping us informed, so we're not caught off guard. The other day, he even messaged me, and he didn't really have to. They had burned the pit during the day, and it was really windy, and he was concerned that they were having an issue with the fence. When it gets real windy, this is something that we may have to address in the future. When it gets real windy, the littlest thing can make it so it don't work. Like, literally, it didn't work because it had a pine needle in front of it. So this goes back to the snow removal thing. So he couldn't get it to shut. So he had messaged me and said, we just burnt. I'm afraid that the fire department doesn't have their code yet because I didn't know if they had it and he wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to shut the gate and have it flare up and then not be able to get in. So he's like, I'm going to leave the gate open and use the old ones. Okay, thank you for letting me know. So at least I know I'm not, when I go by at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to work, the gate's not open and I'm like, hey, why is this open?
Do you know if the codes have been delivered, like to the fire department, police department?
They were supposed to have been delivered from Kate.
So we're just waiting on the other ones to be delivered from the other ones that we approved.
And he came back with another listing last week, so now I think I've got the whole list, and I've got to get that off on Friday.
Okay, so what else you got?
You guys have to remember, I'm only here.
I know,
That's fine. I'm only concerned.
I
to
wish
just-
I could do more.
You're doing a great job.
No, I'm just concerned of just getting it up before winter. We'll be there. I mean, we're getting there.
It's gonna go slower because Trinity's new, so, like, for instance, I said to Sandy tonight, did she take last week's minute and put them on the website? Because I assume the municipal secretary knew that. She goes, I don't think she knows how to do that. So I'm doing pretty much everything. And directing and getting her to try to get things going in that.
She's a very quick learner.
Oh,
I
she
think
is. She's
she'll
very,
just,
it's just to take the time to go behind and say, did you do this and did you do that? So
Her not knowing what she's supposed to do yet, that's all.
we're
it
going
is.
to keep things as best we can with this short little bit of staffing that you have in there that is actually knows everything.
What else we
that we're
got?
supposed to do.
We can get this
It
over
looks as
with.
though actually you guys never signed my contract.
Okay.
I was like looking
So I'll
the
make a
other
motion
day.
to assign the interim town administrator's contract.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No.
You guys had already motioned to go into
Yeah.
the contract, you just didn't sign it, so.
Okay, if you would like to get Scott's signature when you can, that'd be
I
great.
will get that. So this is your
still
signature.
happy?
I am.
No, we signed it, I
I'm
have to
not
be.
getting as much from the TA ad that I would have liked for you, but, yeah.
What do you mean, as in response?
Yeah, yeah. I had a couple conversations today. I mean, I've got some people that are calling, but yeah, we'll see how that ends up. Oh, so your signature, now we're in your signature file. So that was one of them, the interim, Sandy has submitted your holiday policy for the town of Northwood employees for the 2019 year.
I'll make a motion to accept the town holidays as written.
Second?
I don't see any
Anything?
issues with any of these.
Just the regular ones?
So they're
Yep.
the same 11 you've had.
Yep. That's it. That's all I see.
So the transfer station, I know they're not full-time employees. They don't, do they get paid holidays?
Only on the days, if it falls on the day that they're supposed to be open.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if they
So
did.
if,
And I
say
felt
Christ-
bad if like.
so if
they-
Christmas fell.
They lost a day's pay.
If
they-
Christmas
Every
fell
time
on
that-
Tuesday, they wouldn't get paid. But because it's scheduled, as Christmas is on a day that they're scheduled to be open, they'll get paid.
So like Easter's on Easter, so they'll have that paid.
So,
Okay.
it looks, most of the holidays fall on Monday,
Okay.
so they get
All
paid
right,
for
I
it.
just-
It's the
I was
random,
worried
like,
about that.
they
They're
don't
only
get
working,
paid,
you know, a few
they don't
hours
get
a
paid
week.
for Thanksgiving because they're not open that day. So they lose that day,
Okay,
because that's always Thursday.
right, right.
I think that's the only one that they actually lose out on. And Veterans Day, because we don't actually close there on well, no, they do close on Veterans Day. So that's really the only one they lose is Thanksgiving.
Because they.
And it looks like they lose,
After?
no, they don't take any of those because they don't work
On
Friday either.
Memorial Day.
They don't work Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Then they lose Independence Day because that's on Thursday
Okay,
too.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. I hate
Which,
to
if they
see-
don't lose them every year, it just depends on when they fall. Any more discussion?
That's fine, no.
Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, Sandy submitted a workers' compensation law notice of compliance that needs to be signed by the chairman of the board, so.
I'll make a motion to allow the chairman of the board to sign us on behalf of the board, a workers' compensation law notice of compliance.
I second. Please sign.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
I am getting
We
mixed,
actually signed it with like real letters.
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed signals about whether or not the town allows people to use this facility anymore, like the Cub Scouts and things like
Okay.
that. Because Diane said that you no longer allow that, but then.
This
it-
building?
Yeah.
Huh?
So, for instance, you've got a request here. They used to have a form that was here when I was here. It's called the application use of town hall meeting facilities.
Mhm.
People would fill it out, they'd come in, and the board would say yay or nay, you can
Yeah.
use the building or you cannot.
Yeah.
This is gonna be about 35 people coming in, and it's the Cub Scout leader for the pack in town. They have a slight scheduling conflict that he's hoping the town may be able to help us out with. We normally have our pack meeting in St. Joseph's Paris Hall. However, they're prepping for the annual tag sale that week.
Do we know what day it's on?
November 1st.
Do we have anything else that's on the board, on the schedule that may conflict with that?
That's
What
a
day is that?
Thursday, isn't it?
I don't
Oh, wait.
know that.
I don't know.
Is that a Thursday?
Thursday, so.
It's first Thursday of the month. What's on the town calendar? Can you look that up real quick?
Planning board is on Thursdays.
Wait,
Planning
is it
board's-
the first Thursday?
No, I'm just saying, planning board.
Right, right, so I think we're set.
Is it the first
They're
Thursday
looking
though?
from 5:30 to
Planning
7.
board is second and fourth.
If nothing is scheduled for that day, I don't have any issue with it.
The problem would be, I mean, you don't let them move all this equipment, right? They can't be moving this stuff on.
Correct.
Well, I know like when Rec has the Christmas party, they move stuff.
They put them up here.
Yeah.
The
They just move,
The microphones get moved
Yeah.
up.
okay,
Yeah.
fine. So you're okay
That
with
way,
that.
I'd rather have them move than.
Just so I know what to tell them, because they were like, you don't want to move it.
How are they attached though, Gary?
Oh, that's not a problem. It's got a snake under there.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
So that means the next time you come in, you know they're gonna be all dis.
Oh, I know when they've been in here doing stuff, because I have to go through it and make sure everything is
Okay.
squared away.
And you're okay with that?
As long as you don't break my stuff. And chew on the microphones for some of them.
Okay.
No.
That's probably the town rat. Yeah, I'll make a motion to allow the Cub Scouts
Yeah.
Pack 3112 to use the town.
So it's just the-
What is this called? What is this
Like
main,
the meeting
main
room?
lobby, meeting room? The town hall meeting room
Yes. I mean,
on November 1st from 5:30 PM to 7:15 PM. Just knowing that they please be careful when they're moving the equipment and not to set off any alarms. please.
Right, I second. So I guess my discussion is, how will they actually get in?
Well, that's what I don't know, because can they come through that door and walk down here? But if you go past, see, I don't know how you guys have that set up. If you go past that, isn't it just in the business room?
From the way I understand it is, as long as you don't open any of the doors, and you come into this room, you don't need the alarm. You need somebody to open the door, but you don't need to set the alarm.
Well,
The alarm can be set, and I can open the door and not have to touch it. It'll stay
See,
set.
that's probably why they don't allow it anymore, because who's gonna drive back here and open the door for them and lock it up behind them? And is that why the town stopped allowing people?
I honestly don't know why.
Who would be doing that? Who's gonna take that responsibility?
Yeah, who's going to take the responsibility of opening and shutting the door when they're done?
And if you open this to this one, and you guys do start allowing that, you're gonna have others, and now you're gonna have somebody who's constantly scheduled to come in and out of this building and lock and unlock the
well, I
door.
mean, the problem is, there's not enough facilities in town. The community center is always booked,
It is.
which is why the rec wanted to start looking at the old preschool, because there's, I mean, Cub Scouts always meets at St. Joseph's. They've done that for the past 20 years. They just can't because of the tax.
A one time. So maybe you can say this is like a one-time thing, but again, what day is this? November 1st?
I picked Gary.
Oh, you're gonna be one, Gary.
I mean, so what is it? It's coming in to unlock the door?
And then
And then
coming
locking
back
it.
and locking it.
Back and locking it.
Generally speaking, on Thursdays, I'm either here
We're having a school board meeting that night.
or I'm at
The
the school,
school.
generally speaking.
I'm just saying you're gonna need to also establish who's gonna be responsible to do that, if you're gonna approve it.
I'm at the school board meeting on the opposite Thursday. I have something every Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm always with Gary on a Thursday.
So, I'm willing to come in and do it this one time. I will open and shut it on November 1st.
Put that on your calendar, so you're all set?
Yeah,
Okay.
As long as you just make sure
but
that,
it's just going to be a one-time thing. I don't want to get in the habit of doing this.
I would, yeah.
What time is it gonna be?
5:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m.
Generally, I'm not here at 5 unless,
Well, I'll be on, if you happen to be here and you're going to be here at 7:15, I can always have you shut it.
you'll
but
still be
I-
in the town.
I'm normally
school.
Thursdays is normally my in-law night anyway, so getting out of that might not always be a bad thing sometimes.
He doesn't mean that.
Please edit that. Please edit that. All right, call for the vote. All in favor?
I just want to say that I appreciate you doing that for the kids.
It's one night. It's not the end of the world.
Aw, DJ has a heart.
Don't tell
He's
anybody.
like the
You'll
Grinch,
ru-
it just
You'll
got
ruin my
three times the size.
reputation.
I second.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have 4 requests that came in from the Recreation Department, requesting the approval for the town of Northwood's treasurer to withdraw from the recreation escrow to expend to purchase medals for youth soccer programs. Supporting documentation is attached. This is for Dakota Newman, $41.97.
So moved. Have any discussion?
Second? No?
Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
And the next, it's the same request from the Rex, but it's for Ryan Hanavan, $134.90.
Okay, so moved.
Second. This request is from the
Call for the
Recreation.
vote. All in favor? Oops, sorry.
Aye.
Motion passed 2-0.
Okay, sorry.
Reading at
Next-
the same time.
The next is for the funds to be expended to purchase home plate for New Route Dollar Baseball Softball Field in the Beacon Athletics for $94.
So moved.
Is this for the new field?
Yeah. New Route 4. New Route 4. It says Route. This is just a
Money sign.
Yeah, it's a typo. It's supposed to say Route 4 baseball field instead of Route money sign baseball softball field. Any other discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I'd just like to say that once we get this field done, if the reasoning for putting the dirt is so we can use it, we need to start using it as soon as the dirt's done. Because I think the people are gonna get to the point of, they're putting the money into this.
And no one ever uses it?
Well,
Well,
it's
it
not.
hasn't been able to be used, so.
It feels like,
It's
and this
just
is
been-
just an outside
it's been
perspective.
like a
It feels
10-year
like it's
project.
never gonna finish, and it's
Nothing.
not anybody's fault, it just feels like it's never gonna
It's
end.
just piecemeal, it's like,
And
okay,
then
let's do 5,000
people are
here.
eventually just gonna be like, wow, we just keep putting money into this, and it
And
seems
it
like we're
never
never gonna
happens.
use it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
I think we
I'm
need to
glad
get-
to see the $6,000 worth of
Yeah, and
sand,
we need to
and let's
get-
let the kids play on it.
Right, and then once we're done with that, putting that in there, we need to start put it so it looks like we're using it. I mean, so people feel like they're getting a return,
Field of dreams.
whatever you wanna call it. Anything else?
The next one from the Recreation Department, withdraw from the Recreation Escrow, expend purchase field paint for youth soccer. Brine team sales, $246.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor? Aye, motion passes 2-0.
So isn't soccer over now? Or is it like a game?
I
I'm
think
not
it's for painting the lines. The next, this,
No, it's,
supporting and documents attached. What is it really for? Case 12.
oh, just for buying the paint, buying the paint. So I'm like,
Buying the paint.
right.
There's two more purchase
Yep.
orders from, this one is Stratford Regional Planning Commission contracted planning services for the planner, October, November, December for $8,200 submitted from Linda Smith.
So moved.
Second.
Any
This-
discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
This is a purchase order for CAI Technologies. Setup costs for the Access GIS for mapping and assessing submitted from Linda Smith for $1,000.
So moved.
This one is actually before the 20th and it's $1,000 and I signed it. Does that mean it's okay?
I think so, if it's below your, if it's below your
I just wanted to make
threshold.
sure, so since that's the 18th.
Below your threshold.
We can just take that one out of there?
Below your threshold, absolutely.
Okay. So we're back to the applications for the driveway permits. We have two applications.
What's our options on those? As you said, we don't have we can move forward on them with us, or do we have? Because I gotta be honest with you, I don't know a lot about, I don't know a lot about driveways or what it takes to be a road agent. I'm not gonna sit here and say I do, so I don't know if I'm the right person to go look at that.
I don't know if they have anyone that you can hire for like a brief time until the road agent. I've never, usually,
Are they new- the new
when
builds
the
or-
road agent or the person that's doing this is out, the next person in the chain of command
But
will
because
do
he's
it.
not from Northwood, we can't, right?
I think he doesn't want to do it, so I don't want to push that on him. I don't think it matters whether he's from Northwood or not. It's the fact that the job needs to get done. It's that I think he's overwhelmed with how much he's already been given.
So what do you suggest we do with these?
I have really no suggestions. I've never come across, and the only other people that would be, have the authority would be the Board of Selectmen, unless you hire this out. I don't know who you'd hire it out to.
What are the concerns? Do you know, does he have concerns with them, or is it something that's major, or is it just minor driveway things that we need to
No,
take
one of
care of?
them is a driveway permit up in an area that he's gonna be doing a 55 or older development eventually. So the building inspector was very concerned with that and wanted that to be put out. And then this one is Church Street, and this, I mean, the form doesn't really give you a lot.
So I think we need
Church, there's only a few houses though on Church
It just
Street.
says driveway, it doesn't say, it says NA, no construction, pre-existing driveway, but it's a business.
Oh, wait, is it, what business does it say? There was a business on Church Street that came to the planning board about the driveway.
There will be a sign across the street of Butters. I don't know, see, I don't have any one-on-one with these people because they're going to, let's see what this says, because they go to the building inspector. I don't talk to them. Irrevocable trust with the benefit of Katrina.
Yeah, that's that, it's the old church, you know, the church right by Hannaford.
This is a pre-existing driveway that has in all likelihood been in existence for several decades. We are not building, constructing, or altering it in any way. We were asked to apply for a driveway permit by the planning board because apparently no permit is on file for this property.
So I think I'm okay with that one, the one with the,
That case came in, it's just, the church is built.
the one with
like
the
in
unit
1800s.
ones kind of worries me a little bit, because I don't know enough about
Yeah.
that.
Did,
About the
did
housing unit.
the other one go like to the planning board and the zoning board?
I
and
just
stuff?
have, no, they haven't, because they haven't gotten that far yet.
So
So
I'll-
the building inspector was just a little concerned that the conversation, not only with him, but also the road agent, road laborer, was that he's planning on doing like apartment buildings up there.
So we need to have somebody actually really look at that. We may need to have to hire that particular one out if we
Yeah.
don't get a road agent in the time.
Yeah, but maybe you should go to the planning board and they can start the other process.
I can talk
Because
to
I know
Linda
the planning
about
board,
it.
they do, you have to have the blueprints and it shows like where your driveway is going to be and part of the requirements are go get a permit.
So I'm gonna make a
James
motion
might have some
to
answers for that.
accept, to allow this application for driveway permit for north side of Church Street. We don't have a lot number, I don't believe, on here. They're not changing they're not changing the existing driveway, they're just repaving it. But I
They're
don't,
turning it into an antique store and doing like online auctions. So I know when this came to the planning board, it's just because when they closed Church Street onto Route 4, it was like a whole mix up in the driveway, so I'm okay with that.
just for the record, the site, it's for 166 First New Hampshire Turnpike. So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So do we sign with a road agent signatures?
I would put in
Probably
absence,
just you should sign, right?
yes,
So it should be,
give him permission to sign on
I
behalf
give
of
the
the
chair-
board.
I'll amend my motion to allow the chair to sign on behalf of the board
second.
And in the absence of a road
Road
agent.
in the absence of the road agent.
Second.
So moved. All right, any more discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We've got a new road agent.
Not me. All right, anything else?
Thank you.
You have some mail that came in, and it was to the board, and it's in reference to the shoreland permit application for Northwood Realty Trust, John C. Blood and Kim M. Blood trustees for property at 37 Lasky Drive in Northwood. Typically, they go through the state, and they just let you know in
Okay.
case the selectmen have any concerns. Those just typically go through.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else?
There's nothing for us to act on
Nope.
this.
No, it's just a piece of knowledge to be in the record so that it shows that they did what they should and that you guys actually reviewed it and know about it. Septic facility monitoring permitting issues. I had a conversation with Dave Elaine today. Basically, he's trying to bring me up to date on everything that's going to be going on in the next year, and I'm explaining to him that I'm not going to be here. It's not going to be me. You can talk to me, and I'll keep notes, and I'll do a file
Tying
for
you to the chair.
It's like, yeah, no, no. Winter through the notch is not good.
That's why I'm tying you to the chair. You don't have to drive through the notch.
There you go.
I'll feed you.
I'll feed you. So I asked him if he wouldn't mind just kind of like giving me a little synopsis of what's going on over there, because they've changed where the water wells are. They added a new monitoring well, so he submitted that down here. At the same time, he asked about, to let me know that the permit expires January 31st of 19, and that he's doing everything he needs on behalf of the town to get that in place. One of the things that came up was he spoke with Judith Houston, a PE of NHDES, regarding the renewal form. And she explained that with the listings and what's going on, the certified notification of butters was not required, unless the town selectmen believed is necessary for whatever reason.
I don't think if it's not required, I don't believe we should do it.
I agree, because if you do that once and you don't do it the next time, now you're gonna get yourself a problem. Just wanted that on record, that the abutters will not be notified, because DES has explained that it is not
necessary.
required. Okay. The other thing that came up is that in the last round of samplings for PFAS were detected at the MW1 at about 140 ppt, or about twice the acceptable limit. I provided NHDS with response plan, and within that plan is an agreement that we will try to determine the source of these PFAS. Since they are associated with fire retardant coatings and fire suppressant foam, I asked that you contact the fire chief and ask if any such products were used for training at the burn pit. Jim Wilson has indicated to Lance Benson that fire suppression foam may have been used in the past 20 years or more, and possibly before the current fire chief, so you may want to contact Jim or someone who's been around for 20 or more years.
So we're gonna have to have him contact Jim Wilson, who was a part of that when he was.
Well, what I did was I cut this out, I pasted on an email, sent it over to Nick saying, I know you weren't there, but could you talk to any fire call people that might have been there, if they remember any trainings that were down there? And at the same time, I know Jimmy's working at DOCO, so I may try to contact him and ask him.
He's in here quite a bit anyways.
I saw him last week, but I'm only here those 2 days.
Yeah, I know, I hear you.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I just wanted you guys to know that this PFAS, this is, something that we've got to straighten out.
Yep.
I-
Sounds like it's a lot of towns are dealing with this. We're not the only ones.
Not a lot, you guys are probably one of the only towns that have a lagoon.
Yeah, I know.
There's
They want
towns don't have lagoons.
They've been wanting to shut it down for a while.
Well, and he was saying that this time they might let it go through, but you might be heading for a closure, which is very, very expensive.
Yeah, which is what
Or
we've
it
been.
can be.
We've been preparing for that though.
Have you?
We've been
Good.
putting money in a lagoon fund. I thought that was the whole purpose of it. So when
That
we do
lagoon
close it-
fund is probably paying his bill, which is typically $10,000 to $12,000 a year. Because every time they monitor it, they have to do paperwork and report on behalf of the
Honestly, I know how
town.
much we have in there, but I know that we were planning on it closing at some point.
Next year you'll know better. Right now, all of this is leading you in that direction to what you can do or will have to do.
It sounds so fancy. We
Okay.
have a lagoon.
What else?
It really isn't fancy, is it?
Not that fancy.
Septic.
You should go in there when it's really chilly in the
No,
morning.
no.
It doesn't smell too receptive.
No.
I worked there many times where I was like, wow, this is brutal. What else?
So the other gate codes that Pete's looking for is Eversource Electric Company, Irving, Sunel's, East Coast Compactor, Aminico, AMENICO,
Aminico, yep.
Wentworth for waste oil, and JP Pest for rat.
Okay with all of them. My only concern is I thought I was led to believe that East Coast has a clicker. That they were given a clicker
That's
by.
what you think just like me. I said the
I thought they
same
were
thing
given
to
a
her.
clicker by
But
Kate.
It's not East
Is
Coast.
it East?
It's okay.
East Coast Compactor and East Coast Container. There's two different
Yes.
ones.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, so one of them doesn't have a code, and he
East
wants it.
Coast Container has a clicker.
Okay.
East
He
Coast
wants
Compactor.
He wants a code for it. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's where I was like,
I was with you. I said the same thing. I said, didn't you just come in with that?
I'm okay with all of them. Let's just get them done so we can get using that
I
the
will
right
put
way.
that on for Friday to get accomplished.
So that way we can get that being used, because that's one of the things that I feel
Some
like.
of these things probably won't get done Friday.
No, that's fine. But I feel like
A lot of things here.
some of
but
the
I'll do
things,
the best I
some of
can.
the kickback we've been getting, and this goes back to what Rick says, is people aren't seeing the end product of us spending this money.
Yeah.
They see it getting done and not being, like, the
Yeah.
swap shop sat there for how long not being used, and it looks like, well, they spent this money, but it's not being used. If we start using it for what we sent, and at least it looks like we're actually doing something with the money.
Yeah. And this is just that driveway permit that I'm going to talk to Linda about.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
You got a administrator report, or is that basically it?
That was it.
Do you have anything for selectmen's?
I was just wondering if we heard anything about the fire truck.
Fire truck?
About it being fixed?
That being fixed.
Remember we...
No? Nothing from Nick?
I didn't even know it was out.
So, with engine 3, and
Nick was supposed
we
to,
got
yeah.
a
Quote.
quote, but it wasn't a definite price. There was
We had-
two quotes,
yeah.
one for
Is
like...
this
I
from
remember
the
that.
chief? The chief?
Yes.
One quote was like 4,000 or 5,000, the other one was 11,
Up to,
and
we
we
were
gave
allowed
up
to
to
up
7.
75, and he was supposed to fix it on site. We asked him about it
That's what
last
I asked
week.
him, he said they were waiting for a
Yeah,
part.
they were waiting
It's
for a
been a week,
part.
I just,
No.
So do you want, along with the...
We can just get an update of where he's at with the truck,
because we don't even have like a definite price
so
yet,
we know
so...
if it's fixed or
Fire
not.
chief
and how- and-
price,
It
quotes,
really-
is that what you're looking for?
No, final price. He'd already gotten us our quotes, but we weren't
Final
giving a final
price.
price. We gave him up to 75. I guess what she's asking is it fixed?
And was the 75 enough for?
enough to get it fixed.
7,500?
Yeah, was that enough to get it fixed, and is it fixed? And if it's not fixed, do we have a time frame of when it's going to be fixed?
And what piece
Well,
of
yeah,
equipment
because
is this?
Engine 3, right?
Engine 3, yeah. The company was gonna come to the station and fix it,
But they were waiting on a
but they were
part.
waiting on a part, but then they didn't know it was gonna be more, because you know how you take something apart, and
Yeah.
it could have been something else. So that's why we were unsure, because the two, 5 and 11,000 were two different bids, so
Yeah.
that's why.
I'll follow up.
Okay.
The email parts of these, I'll just take them home and do the emails, because
Thank
I
you.
can do it from the phone.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Anything
That
else?
was it, just hoping it was good.
I have just one. I have a letter of interest for the rec department on behalf of Matthew Fry. I'd like to just make a motion to appoint him pending background check and pending him completing an oath of office. So moved.
Yeah, second that.
If you could, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If you could have Trinity draw up that oath of office and contact Mr. Fry when it's available so he can come in and sign and swear in, and then,
Do they do that here, or is it?
yeah, she has to go downstairs and get sworn.
Downstairs, yeah, okay.
Sworn in, and then we sign it.
Yeah.
But,
I'm assuming he'll be fine, he's the guy in charge of the Cub Scouts too.
I've known him for years. I'm not worried about it, but we still have to
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, definitely.
And his name again?
Matthew Fry, and his number will be on that list. She can just call him and let him know that he can come in and that we've appointed him, but he needs to sign his oath of office and get him started on his background check.
Okay, so Trinity actually must have a template in there for oath of office for.
Yeah, I'm sure they all had, it's be the same one as everybody
Yeah.
else has filled out in prior years. I'm sure there's
Yeah, so
gotta
I'm
be
thinking,
something,
you know,
yeah.
reinvent the wheel. I mean.
No, it's already
gotta be
there.
out there.
It's just a
Good.
different name put
Yeah.
in the service.
All right, we're good.
I think he gets to start going to meetings though.
He can't until, he can go to meetings, but he can't vote
can't
until
vote
he's
until-
officially, he has to have his background check come back. He'll get sworn in, and we'll basically appoint him.
Who does the background check?
He'll have to come in, he'll have to schedule an appointment for fingerprints, and then they'll send it up.
Right, he has to come here first and meet with Sandy and get the paperwork done. And then he'll have to contact Wendy at PD and then set an appointment
Yeah.
for your fingerprints.
So I just give this to Sandy and she knows what to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Background
But he
check.
still has to do he'll
Oath
have
of
to come in.
office.
Oath of office is Trinity sets that up. She has to design all.
And
do
do
all
we
that.
have what I usually do when people are first coming into these committees, I try to give them a contact?
He'll be
Name, number.
Sharon.
Sharon?
She's the rec commission, she's the rec director.
Contact Sharon for scheduling,
Of meetings and all that good stuff.
Okay, good.
Anything else? I have nothing else. I'd just like to say I feel like Pete's doing a really good job. I do recommend the other two board members go on the same ride that he'd love to take you guys, because
Yes.
I noticed that we are really behind on a lot of our road stuff. And it's not just behind this year, it's behind from several years of just, whether it's not budgeting or just not getting it done. There's a lot of things that need to be done that,
And he has a lot of good ideas.
and unfortunately, it's gonna
Alright.
hurt our impact, it's gonna impact the budget. But really, if you ride with them, it's stuff
It's
that
also
needs to
the
be done.
safety of the roads,
It
too,
needs
you
to be
know.
done. It needs to be done. It should have been done a long time ago. It wasn't budgeted for. We didn't.
I think it's just budgeting appropriately and tackling a little bit at a time, and it
Having
might
a
take us
plan.
a few years to
Having
catch
a
up.
plan.
Definitely a plan.
Are you guys planning on meeting next week, the October 30th? Because
I think we need a
you're
break.
done with budget.
I think we need a break.
Are you sure we're done? I thought.
Yes, we're done.
You're done with budget. You just got warrant now.
We need a break.
The only thing is that you told Pete that he could come in.
I have talked to him. I think what we can do is, when you talk to him, if he's willing to just call us, I'm okay with a call update too, like he did today.
Or he could come in November at the second week in
I think
November.
we should invite him to come to the next meeting
The
in
second
November.
week of November, but if he feels content that he wants to give us an update, I'm okay with him giving me
Oh,
it.
yeah.
If he wants to call me every Friday, he's like, I'm sorry to call, it's like, if
I
I don't
got
want
the
to answer,
nicest text from him.
if I
He
don't
was
want
so
to answer,
sweet.
if I don't want,
He's a joy.
if I don't want to answer the phone, I won't, Pete. That's just the way, but I normally will answer it.
Okay.
you
So
know?
if he
No, he's
feels
up
like
early
he's-
like I am, it was great. I'm like, oh, hi.
Well, he gets concerned because he calls me in the middle of the afternoon and he knows I work night shift. He's like, I hope you're not sleeping.
No, I got like the
I don't
6:30
sleep.
text. I'm up at 5.
Insomnia.
Oh my gosh, 6:30 a.m. he's gone. Oh, jeez.
I'm up at 2,
He
so it
probably doesn't
doesn't,
let me go by. He knows I work at the school.
I'm up at 2 a.m., so it's like, whatever.
He's really trying, and that's why when you were saying to do those things, I'm like, oh boy, you know, because we're getting him to head that way, but it's all new to him.
No, I'm not asking for a lot. It's just
No,
more or less, it's
I
it's
definitely
to
think you
save
should
us.
come to the next meeting in November.
Right.
Not only to, talk to him, but like, show him that, yes, you are doing a good job and we appreciate you.
He's one of the departments that comes in, and it's
Yeah.
like, he's in my office when I'm here both days to kind of give me an update of where he's at, which is kind of nice
And
to
I
know.
like that.
Yeah, it's something that we need
Because I
from
know
all
we
our
talked to
department
Kate,
heads.
maybe something you could do. We did ask Kate before if we could get updates from departments. Like
Monthly.
monthly, like what are you
Well,
up
I
to?
can tell you what I implemented in Thornton, and it was a requirement in the personnel policy that the department heads are required to submit a monthly written update
Can we
of
make that-
what they've accomplished.
We need to
and
make
what-
That's
that-
something we talked about.
need to make
and-
that
And she
motion.
was going to do that. So I make a
Well, you're
motion.
working on your policy, right, your
Yep.
personnel policy.
Mhm. We need to do that when we do our personnel
Make
policy.
that part of your personnel
But
policy.
it's important because like, just updates, like, oh, what are you
It's-
doing? Because people ask us and we have no idea.
And it makes
you
the
know.
board
This-
look bad.
this is the other thing that you-
Unfortunately, you can't know everything,
The
but
other
people
thing-
expect you to.
The other thing that you missed, and I was talking about it with Jim Valancourt today, and it feels like we haven't had the follow-through that I thought we were gonna have. We had this really big meeting where all of the committees met together, and we got a
That
ton,
was back in
we got a
July.
ton accomplished, and we came up with all these ideas of how to communicate better and how to do all this stuff, and then it just died. Like we went,
Yeah.
it just died.
One
Like
of the,
nothing happened from it. Like we had a huge meeting, and it all went
was
great.
Every
department
and
All the
commissions,
committees came. We had like 30, and it was, we tried to get like how we can communicate better, what we need to do to communicate better, how we can get better services, and we had all these good ideas, and it was like all of a sudden it was like that meeting, and then nothing.
This position is very intricate in making that work.
Well, they put a presentation
It was
too.
mandatory.
Yeah.
And one of the things I know that one of the people had asked for was town emails, and Kate was gonna look into Mainstay and see what would it cost to have like town emails.
So, in other words, each committee member that's on a committee
Like
will be
rec
given
commission has a
will
rec
be given
commission
will be
email.
given a town email, so they don't have to use their personal one when they're having conversations. So you'd be like rec committee member 1,
They do have emails.
rec committee 2, rec committee 3.
Every employee is what you're saying?
No, people like on commissions or committees, and we weren't sure like what it would actually cost. I know Kate was gonna look into that with me.
Yeah, it's very expensive. I've never
Is
worked
it?
in a
Okay.
town that's ever allowed everybody to have an
It was
email.
one of the things that came up. We
Well, at
talked
least I think my biggest thing would be every chair, not every person, but every chair that sits on a committee.
Yeah.
So that way the chairs can at least communicate.
That would be
we also
more
talked
reasonable
about-
because if you meet as any committee or board.
At least the chairs can
It should be
communicate.
funneled from one person to town hall.
Yeah, so that way the chair can
You're
communicate.
gonna bombard somebody with too much work that's sitting, who's ever gonna get it on the other end.
I think the other part of
Updating
that,
the website,
the-
webpage.
yeah, and a double part of that email thing was, and I think this is another thing, is it was supposed to be set up that night where, like, if the library puts out an email, it was supposed to automatically go to all departments. So if we wanted to, remember, so if we
Oh,
wanted
right,
to
for
look
example,
at it-
like on Saturday, they're having the party for Donna.
I know nothing
So-
about that. I never saw an email. This just goes.
Right, right. So they're having she won Librarian of the Year. That's a fabulous thing.
Huge. Yeah,
It's
very
huge. And I mean, it was not
But they put it out on email and not only.
It's like
the
every
people that-
department head should get that, whether you are, in planning or,
But that's your department head setting up their groups. We all have the ability to send up the group,
right,
but
but I think
they
Kate
would
was gonna
all-
do that, and then I think,
It wouldn't, it couldn't just be Kate, it would have to be, the library would have to do it.
So when they derive their email, they should be able.
There's
They should
groups, so
derive
if
it.
you wanted to go to all departments, then it has to come from that department to the group.
so it wouldn't be like,
So when you.
if you did like all, I don't know, like at school we have like Northwood faculty, and so you can just type in faculty and it goes to every single person in school.
Because that's a group.
Right.
So
They've
would the
established
group
it as a
actually
group.
We
start
have to,
like
we have to
at the town
establish the
hall?
groups. We have to establish the groups.
Well,
I just think it would be nice, for everyone in the town to know, you know,
Right.
that she did that, you know. We need to celebrate everyone's yays, you know,
Yeah.
not just like, oh, you know.
But
all the
for the town administrator to have enough time to take in every department's
Yeah.
information and make
It's too
sure that
much.
it gets out,
Too much.
you're going to chase your TAs away.
So we
They
need to
are- They
get-
have to get their job done.
Right.
They can't be the communication person in the middle. The department heads need to be responsible to create their groups to all the other department heads. When that happened with Donna, it should have been, once your group is in your email, you just say, you know, send it to the group. Donna won, blah, 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 please join us for cake and cookies on such and such.
Theoretically, we should be a part of the beginning of their groups anyways. It should be selectmen, should be really a part of every email that comes from any department head. In all genuine, not every email, but
I
something
think definitely
like that.
the yays.
The things
You
that
know?
you, yeah, the things that you want to promote, the
Right.
things that you want, you know, everybody to enjoy, sure. But they have to do it in their own departments. They've got to create that group and push it out and send the
So
info.
everyone was saying we need to do better on communication, but it's everyone's
down to
job
everyone.
is to.
Yeah, it's no one person's job. I mean, communication means just that. Everybody has to participate.
The most difficult part is when I find as selectmen is they'll put it out there and then like they come to you and they tell you, it's like you feel so bad because it's like I gotta work and I knew nothing about it, and it's like you kind of, it's like, well, now I kind of feel like a complete dope.
No, because that day we
Well,
talked about that, and Scott said he was in Arizona, and I know you work on Saturdays. I don't mind going. I mean, that's.
Well, that's why you got invited to that one thing the first week I was here, and I sent you guys out. You've been invited.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got something like that from the library as your TA, I would send it to you saying you've been invited. All three of you would have gotten it.
Right.
Was Kate not doing that?
I don't know as if she was getting
I know
that
she
stuff.
tried. Like we tried doing the town picnic, just like a little. You
It
know,
fell apart.
It fell apart. People.
We don't have Christmas parties no more like we used to. It's kind of sad.
And see, up there, I implemented, we have a huge Christmas party. We don't call it
have
Christmas,
great ones.
holiday celebration to be proper.
We used to have some really good
We have
ones.
an employee barbecue every summer. And it got, one summer, we were too busy, we didn't get to it. The employees were coming to us saying, are you guys gonna do that again next year? We had so much fun. Now, for your employees to want to come, that's huge. But you've
I
gotta
think we need to
really-
definitely start doing some team building and just
Well, the employee barbecue is that the employees, the selectmen cook and feed them. So for them being there, it's kind of like you being there saying, here,
servicing
we're
them.
servicing them. So it was like the reverse. And
I'm
it
okay
really, it goes over well. Those little things go
I'm
over.
all right with
They
doing
certainly
something like
do.
that. I'm a massive good cook, actually.
Yeah, you just get, you get a barbecue, you put a grill out
Put
here,
carne
some,
arts with your daughter.
tables. How's that?
I took carne arts with your daughter.
Did you?
Yeah. All right, so that's it. Anything else? We kind of got a little off track there.
No, I think,
Well, no, I think we're just trying to like.
I've got to tell him you're not going to have the October 30th meeting, but I
And if
think
he wants
everybody's
to-
going to be relieved that, I know, because I'm not here, and Sandy,
I think we're just
enough's enough
overwhelmed
for
with
the-
everything else that we're doing right now that we need a break between that.
Because
We have,
we're supposed to not have one tonight and then
it was
have
supposed to be the
that one.
30th.
So, yeah.
But I think with
And it never happened.
taking that break and then do we have the voting where we're going to have to be there on Tuesday night? I know I can't do Tuesday. I'm not taking a day off again. And Hal even says more than likely it's okay if one's there. He can kind of display, okay, he stepped out, because I know you can't take the time off.
No, I
Scott's
can
gonna
get
be
there by 3 o'clock.
So
Tuesday for what?
voting,
The election.
Oh, the elections, yeah. So do you all three go, or do you guys take
we
turns?
take turns. Usually Scott does the morning shift
Yep.
because he'll take the time off, and then generally
What day is
I'm-
that? The
Sixth.
6th, right?
I'm out of work every day at 11:30,
Yep.
so I'll generally take the afternoon shift. Then
So is there something that the selectman is supposed to do to prepare for that?
at the end, no,
Who do you feed the
Moderator.
ballot clerks? Do you do, what do you guys do? Nothing?
nothing.
Really? Wow.
Moder-
great.
They take care of all that.
Pretty.
Great.
Sit there and look pretty, right?
We
So
basically
who
just,
feeds the workers?
the church or something does something. We don't. I'm
Are you
confused.
sure that the TA hasn't been making sure that that's all in place for you?
We've never,
So
not that I'm aware of.
The RSA is very specific that the selectmen are to provide a place for them to occur, for
Mhm.
elections to occur.
Uh-huh.
The ballot clerks are supposed to be appointed by the Board of
Yeah, we've done
Selectmen, and
that.
everybody's in place, and that you're supposed to supply them with their food. You know, you're supposed to-
That's completely, we maybe have been doing
We've
it all
never-
before, and I've never been aware
I
of
just
it.
don't want it, it's supposed to be me, and I don't know.
I honestly don't, I don't know, you better ask. I honestly,
in
that's
fact,
the first
I
I've heard
think
of
the
it.
Harvey Lake Women's Club, they do like They sell food.
Yeah.
It's a fundraiser.
They sell food there, but
They do sandwiches.
maybe that's what it's always been, and it's just never been questioned before, because that's the first time I've ever
It's a
heard it.
fundraiser.
When it used to be in here, I used to order sandwiches and stuff, and I would have them here so that they could eat throughout the day, because you're putting them on for 8 to 12 hours, right? Ballot clerks?
I think we have them in halves now. They don't do a full 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
The polls are open for 12 hours, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
As long as you haven't done it and I'm not missing, I just don't want to.
To my knowledge, we haven't done it.
I'm new, so I don't know.
To my knowledge, we've never bought them dinner that I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean that we didn't do it and I just didn't see it.
Okay, well, if we don't do it this time.
To my knowledge. If it comes to, and I'm standing
I'll
there and they
talk
say,
to
hey,
Sandy
are you gonna
about
feed
it.
me? I'll be like, yeah, I'll order you some food, I guess.
Usually you just make sure that they have like some sandwiches and some
There's
drinks.
food there, it's just you gotta pay for it.
I would always go out shopping for the Selectmen and go to Shaw's and get big platters of sandwiches and cold water and things like that. And at nighttime, they would get.
I don't know.
serve them
Maybe you
lasagna.
should ask someone who would know the answer.
Scott usually just takes a trip to Johnson's and has a drink.
No, he doesn't.
I will ask Sandy.
You're on
if she
TV.
knows.
He'll admit it, he does it, he's not gonna lie.
Food.
So-
Sometimes the moderator does it in town.
Maybe he has been doing it,
Sometimes
I don't know.
The town clerk will do it, but the law says that the selectmen just need to make sure that it's done.
Okay.
So.
The town
just
clerk is new
for-
too, so she won't know.
Who?
The town clerk is new as well, so she would know.
Moderator will probably know, or I'm sure Sandy will know.
I'll talk
I'm sure Linda will know too, because she's a ballot clerk. I'm sure she'll know exactly.
Smith?
Linda Smith
Oh,
is
I'll
a ballot
talk
clerk.
to
She'll know what's going on, because she's a ballot clerk. Anything else?
That's
I'll
it.
call for adjournment, make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned at 8:59-ish.